Welcome back to the Nerd Corner, the corner of the internet where we like to talk all things nerdy. Today, I'm joined by Bradley, or Everyday Geek, my co-host, and today we have a very, very, very special guest for the very first time on the pod, Mavix Juno.
Yo, what's up, y'all?
Yeah.
I'm Avix Juno. I'm a rapper and a filmmaker and a music producer. Yeah.
And sex icon.
And sex icon. Yeah, don't forget that. I'm gonna add that to my Instagram bio now.
There you go. There you go. Co-CEO of sex. Today we are going to finally be discussing Spider-Man Brand New Day. Everyone here has seen it. We are very amazed. So we're going to start off with just our ratings of it, I think. Right? Is that how we're doing this?
Okay.
If you want to do ratings off the bat. You know what, MJ, you're the guest. You go first.
Okay, out of what?
Out of 10.
Out of 10?
10 being the best.
I will give Spider-Man Brand New Day and a high 8 out of 10.
8?
I'm giving it a high 8 out of 10.
Wow, you might be lower than us on this. Okay. Well, I think I'm giving it a 9. Honestly, I'm very impressed.
Should I just give it a 10 then to make the full hat trick, or?
I think you should go fuck yourself.
No, I'm giving it.
No, I'm kidding.
Thanks for that.
No,
I give it a 9 as well.
A 9? Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I think I'm just they blew it out of the water with this film. It's definitely not the perfect film, but it's definitely like it's up there as one of the best Spider-Man projects. I think at least out of this decade.
It's definitely the best Tom Holland Spider-Man film.
Oh, by far.
I don't know about that.
I gotta mention, we were leaving the theater. By the way, I went to go see this film with MJ, so we already talked quite a bit before this pod. After we got out of the theater, he still thinks No Way Home is better than Brand New Day.
I think No Way Home is better than Brand New Day. I do think it is.
I mean, it's cool.
Ultimately,
it's a really good film. Don't get me wrong.
It's good, but it's multiversal.
Yeah, like this is street level Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man as Spider-Man. It's like,
okay,
this is what we wanted.
But you also have to consider the context that these films exist in, right? So if we look at it from a narrative perspective, right, we've got Spider-Man Homecoming of Spider-Man trying to become Spider-Man. Then we got No Way Home, which sets up the plot, or Far From Home, which sets up the plot for No Way Home, right? No Way Home, in my opinion, is an amazing way to end that arc of the story. And I don't think that the story of Spider-Man Brand New Day captured me nearly as much as it did Spider-Man No Way Home.
See, I do have to disagree. I'm not saying that the narrative in No Way Home is not good, because don't get me wrong, they could have just done a cameo fest like we got in like Deadpool and Wolverine. We didn't get that. The characters that were brought in, all the villains from the past movies, including, in the inclusion of Toby and Andrew, those were amazing. They actually found a way to tie them into the story, and I'm very impressed. One of my hot takes that's coming up in the hot takes episode is actually about No Way Home, which I've already told MJ. But I think that this film has just a much better narrative. And obviously, spoilers going ahead. We're going to be spoiling the shit out of this film. If you haven't seen it already, what the fuck are you doing? But just the introduction of Jean Grey and how they, started her as a villain, but also had her do the redemption arc is, I think, one of the more important things to this film and to the future of the MCU. But there's also just the way that they handled other characters that haven't been blended in with the Spider-Man stuff. Like Hulk, it felt weird seeing him in the film initially, but when we saw him in the film and saw them restore Hulk to, the glory that we were missing, that was great. And Punisher, he maintained his character despite being held back by a PG-13 rating. They didn't, ruin his character by any means. He's exactly the same. Just sure, a little toned down. He doesn't actually kill anyone in the film, but
wow,
he tries. But he doesn't like it. It's nothing. It's nothing out of the ordinary for Frank in this film, I don't think. And I think the inclusion of all the villains as well. This is overall like a true blue Spider-Man film, and it also separates itself from the MCU by trying to stay independent, which is what I can appreciate.
For me, why I put Spider-Man Brand New Day above No Way Home, as much as I love No Way Home and, someone who grew up with Toby and Andrew, It's all them Spider-Man. Like Tom Maguire was my childhood Spider-Man. So getting to see him back and in a way that wasn't just a cameo, it was fit into the story, was great. However, I like street level Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And this is the first, I feel like this is the first proper time we got to see Spider-Man truly. I know he has the Punisher and obviously the Hulk and that, but this is the first time I've seen Spider-Man that truly feels like he's on his own, not tied to Tony Stark or the bigger MCU. He's Spider-Man on his own. The Spider-Man that's struggling, lives in a shitty apartment, you know?
We got depressed Spider-Man. That's what we wanted.
Okay, depressed Spider-Man. Really, you can't argue that this is the only time we've seen depressed Spider-Man.
I'm not saying
it's not the only time. It's not the only time. Don't get me wrong. It's not the only time. But this is the first film that did it really fucking well. I think. We saw Spider-Man, depressed after after Aunt May died. I almost said
Ant-Man died. No, not Ant-Man. They killed Bald Rod. No.
If they killed Ant-Man, I probably would have cheered. Anyways,
what the fuck do you have against Ant-Man?
You just like Bald Rod.
Stray.
Ant-Man catching strays out the corner.
So
fuck you, Insect Boy. Just an arachnid show.
So I think. I completely lost my train of thought there. All right. I think that the way that they handled, depressed Spider-Man in this one, it was just like, it maintained throughout. He's still very bummed about his friends, and it carries with him throughout multiple years, while also at the same time making New York itself a character and actually giving it personality rather than just being a location. They also found a way to, make Peter have this new identity as just Spider-Man rather than just be Peter Parker. Because in his eyes, Peter Parker was forgotten. He might as well forget him too. That's basically what a lot of the main theme of this was. And that just shows the mental state that Peter was at, right?
Okay. I'd like to interject here because you said one thing that I get very passionate about in this movie, and that is that it turns New York into a character and not just a location. That is objectively not true. The movie that did that, the movie that did the best at portraying the public's reaction to the events was Civil War. There was nothing about that in Spider-Man Brand New Day, if that, barely any, right? We literally watch Spider-Man throw Scorpion at a speeding cop car and nearly kill a public servant, and there is no backlash for it whatsoever. There's no moment where they're like, hey, maybe this vigilante stuff isn't a good idea because why do we have superpowered people being judge, jury, and executioner on this? Let's be real here. Let's be real here because that's what it is, right? It doesn't make sense.
I can understand that, but you also got to keep in mind that he has spent the past, 4 or 5 years, within the time jump that they took with this film, as Spider-Man protecting the neighborhood. He's been friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Everyone's grown with him, but they also know he's a superhero. This is shit this isn't out of the ordinary stuff. They've seen mind control with Loki. They've seen, Avengers take completely wrong moves, similar to Civil War and how, Wanda literally, blew the fuck out of Crossbones and threw him into a building, basically creating a 9/11 event in a completely different fucking country.
Yeah.
And they've been criticized for that. Sure, it's happened. But you got to keep in mind, New York loves Spider-Man now. Should they? I will admit it's a little bizarre that they suddenly are so in love with Spider-Man after everything that still happened with Mysterio.
It's a little bizarre, right?
A little bit, yes.
I'm not saying they have to hate Spider-Man, but I'd like to see that in a world that has established to be reactive to superheroes, to react to superheroes, right? It is a step down from what we have seen in the past, in my opinion. From a world building perspective.
Yeah, but
I get where you're coming from. Because Spider-Man is one of the most in New York is one of the most beloved heroes. I fully understand, but there still needs to be that reaction of some people disliking superheroes and mass vigilantes.
I think a big fault as to why this is and why there was no critique for Spider-Man in the public eye was because for some reason they didn't show the Daily Bugle. I think that was a very missing piece in the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I was actually gonna bring that up. Like, where was J. Jonah Jameson? Because I haven't watched
We
the
know
other
he
Spider-Man
exists.
movies in a bit, but like I don't remember hearing anything about him from any of the Tom Holland films.
No Way Home, he was a pretty prominent character though.
Yeah. And he was in the post credit and Far
Yeah.
From Home as well.
It was J.K. Simmons who came back into the role.
Okay.
Yeah, and he existed in No Way Home, and we ended off that movie with him also saying like, so if Spider-Man is the hero he would unmask himself and show himself to the public. So obviously he's still on Spider-Man's ass. He just doesn't know who he is anymore. So I think if we still saw that critique through the Daily Bugle, through J. Jonah Jameson, that would have definitely tied the whole New York's critique of Spider-Man together, and that would have made a little bit more sense. But I think it's a good way to look at it. It's like, oh, it's been 4 years. He's helped out so many people in so many ways. There's so many stories to be told. He's taken out so many bad people. I think it's okay just to, as much as it sucks to say he did something pretty shitty and didn't get any critique for it, at the same time, 4 years of straight up good can mask one little slip up with Scorpion.
I think they still should have had.
It depends on the It depends on the level of severity of the action, though.
That was not a little slip up. What are we talking about? He grabbed Scorpion by the tail and slammed him directly into a car. This was not an accident or an incident. This was so very clearly an intentional. Like, obviously he couldn't control it, right? But from the public's eye, it is so
is it
very
intentional?
clearly intentional that he was trying to, that he was hitting that car on purpose. Not an accident, but to hurt the Punisher with reckless abandon for human life, right? I think this is the point that we're just going to keep arguing about.
Yeah. Can I just say a way to fix that? And I get where you're coming at from the point. I think the problem was that we didn't really see any civilians, just police officers in that scene. So yes, sorry, the camera got banned. Try to be sneaky, will you? Try to be sneaky.
Hang on, give me a second.
Wait. Force, we'd like to explain to the Spotify listeners who don't have the video what just happened.
So MJ was definitely indulging in something that he was trying to do off camera, but he has a tracking camera through his MacBook that follows his head. So when he ducked down to do it, the camera just followed him downward, and we saw the whole thing.
You're shooting up heroin, dude. He's indulging in a substance that he clearly did not want anyone to see. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
We're trying to stay PG. We're trying to. No, that's not true. I don't give a fuck about PG.
He just snorted a line of coke off the desk.
To be fair, it's not the worst thing I've said under a podcast. I've said in a podcast, as Mavix Juno, like actually representing myself. The worst thing I ever admitted was that the majority, like a lot of my very first album was made like tweaked out of my mind on ADHD meds because the dosage was way too strong, and I just became like a tweaker for a week.
Oh my god!
Like, it was an accident. It was completely accidental. And I got to the end of the week.
I forgot I even had ADHD, and that you even needed ADHD.
I have really severe ADHD. I just don't talk about it because
I'm surprised we don't talk about it because I also have really bad ADHD, but I don't take meds for it.
I don't bring it
and
up.
And I'm British, like, so.
That's an equal disability right there.
God, man, British and a ginger, pick a fucking struggle, dude.
I'm bisexual. Bisexual, ginger, British.
Bisexual, ginger, British. Goddamn, pick one and roll with it.
No,
I'm playing life on hardcore difficulty.
No, yeah, but no, it was difficulty. The meds thing was a complete accident because I'd stopped taking them. And I'm like, I stopped taking them for a few months, and then I took them back over like a spring break. And then at the end of spring break, I was like, I've been doing literally nothing but making music for the past week straight. What could have changed in my life that would cause me to be holed up in my room doing one activity for extended periods of time? Probably the baby meth. It was probably the baby meth.
You're listening to the Nerd Corner, where we talk about nerdy things.
We're talking about nerdy things and baby meth.
And drugs.
That's what it is. Everyone freaks out when I say that. That's what it is. They're amphetamines. That's all they are.
Pretty much, yeah. I would know. I do meth every day. That's a joke.
Is it? What I was going to say before we got cut off with the drug talk, because we suddenly turned from
bad.
Spider-Man to Breaking Bad.
My
Spider-Man Brick
bad.
and New Team.
My name is Gus.
What I was going to say was, with that scene, getting back on track, that scene with Scorpion, you only really see, like, police and that. You don't really see civilians. So that's why I get
There's really no public eye there. It's probably like a private
But
incident.
I think a fix of that could have been, since in the MCU, J. Jonah Jameson doesn't do a newspaper, he's more like a daily, like a what's it called, like a web series, with cameras and all that. You could have very easily had a cameo. Yeah, you could have had a cameo with him showing up, filming like the aftermath, being like, "This is what this man Spider-Man does." That could have been a nice cameo, and then you could have seen a bit of New York's reaction. I don't think New York would just do a full 180 and suddenly hate them, but you could see a bit of backlash.
I'm not
that
saying that they have to hate Spider-Man. I'm just saying that they need to react in some way.
They need to hold him accountable.
And one fix that I actually brought this up to Cooper, which, like, we're following a street level Spider-Man, so let's follow the other street level heroes. Police, hello, brothers, like they're brothers in blue, right? If the public may not react badly to it, but do you think cops would let Spider-Man attacking another cop slide? No, and that could have been a very unique narrative way to bring them more into the story, because like, cops are more just background characters, right?
Yeah.
Except for like the big like commissioners and shit, right? Like all like the regular street level people, like all the people just doing the arrests, right? They don't get shown that much. So just like show them off narratively.
Well, a lot of what happens with this is also kind of covered by damage control. Damage control in the Marvel universe is already placed on a pretty high scale when it comes to a lot of stuff like this. And I think they would I love the zoom in on your face. I think that they would genuinely like get in the way of a lot of stuff like this. Like they would cover up a lot of this because they don't want a lot of publicity with all the shitty shit that they were doing. Honestly, that's probably why.
You know what the cops need in the MCU, specifically now for Spider-Man? But the trouble is the character doesn't yet exist. Since we don't have Gwen Stacy, we don't have Captain Stacy either with the police department. I think that's something that should have been introduced maybe in Spider-Man 5 when we get that down the road.
Yeah, like,
and also with the police, there's also what was it? Is it the chief? Who's the girl that he dispatches with?
The Wolf.
Wolf. The Wolf. Like it's clear that they've grown a relationship. Like if you ever played the Spider-Man PS5 games, then you would know that like Yuri Watanabe is someone who's higher up in the police force. So the police tend to work with Spider-Man quite a bit. And sure, still should not have let that slide. But I can see the Wolf probably letting him off the hook a little bit because they definitely built some sort of like friendship, and they're definitely closer than some of the other characters he's probably interacted with.
She knows that isn't what Spider-Man's like.
She knows that there was something wrong with Spider-Man. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say, if we're talking about the moments of Spider-Man showing his rage and that, I mentioned this to Cooper prior, like a day or two ago. Seeing Tom Holland's acting with the rage and the thing taking over got me really excited for when we see symbiote Spider-Man down the road. And with the black suit and how they incorporate that.
I like how, because this is the second time now we've seen a rageful Spider-Man, because we saw it in No Way Home when he was fighting Gabi, and we saw him in this film when he was getting taken over by the arachnid genes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we can see a very angry Spider-Man, and that shit goes hard. And Tom Holland can act his fucking ass off in this role. So I would be very let down if they ended up not doing the symbiote Spider-Man with him. I think that would be kind of a missed opportunity. But I don't want them just to do it in a one movie appearance. I want them to stretch it out a little bit.
I think, this is obviously a prediction, but in the comics, when he first got the symbiote was in Secret Wars, and obviously we're getting the movie. Obviously, it was the original Secret Wars, not the 2015, which is what the movie is going to be based on. But I can see, he gets the symbiote in Secret Wars, like in the comics. He has it for that, and then he continues it into then his next Spider-Man appearance, probably Spider-Man 5.
Yeah.
All right, can I say, I mentioned Gwen Stacy briefly. and because obviously there's the blonde
Mhm.
girl in the apartment, right? That we see,
Mhm.
like a quick cameo.
Yeah, I
People's already
saw that. I
forgotten.
remember that. Yeah,
think I
when
missed
he's
it.
wearing the juicy sweatpants in the
Yeah.
elevator, the girl's like, "Hey, is that my
Oh.
shirt?"
I don't think
I-
that's Gwen.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say something very different. It's the same way that I've seen things online. People see like a black kid and they go, "It's Miles Morales. It has to be." Can I say, not every
It's like,
blonde girl.
it's like whenever I saw that one guy that had that whole monologue with Spider-Man in like the middle of the street before before Jean Grey walked an
Good
old
actor,
man
by
into
the
the
way.
middle of
Good
the road.
acting by him.
Good acting. I saw people be like, "Is this supposed to be Miles Morales?" It's just a black guy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, that was
what do you
funny. I
mean?
saw them.
What are you
But
talking
funny.
about?
But this is the thing.
Random ass dude.
Yeah, but the thing
He
is, though,
I will admit, he sounds like Miles. He does sound like
Mhm.
Miles in a lot of his other appearances. Come on, though.
it's
like,
not Miles. It's just a random guy. But here's the thing that gets me. They see like a random blonde girl. They go, "Oh, that must be Gwen Stacy." They see a random black girl. They go, "There must be Miles Morales." For
They saw
God's
Jean Grey.
sake,
They saw Sadie Sink
Yeah.
get cast and be like, "Oh, we're getting Mary Jane."
Mary
Watson."
Jane. But here's the thing. You gotta understand. I
Mhm.
imagine at some point down the road, we will get Miles Morales, and maybe we might get Gwen Stacy as well. When we do get those characters in the MCU, since they're big important characters of Spider-Man comics, they're not going to be some nameless cameo in a movie.
Yeah, no fucking way.
They're
We
going to
already
make it
know
clear.
Miles Morales exists in the universe because of obviously the Prowler back in Homecoming. At this
Yeah.
point now, he would, probably be a little bit more grown, like probably in his teenager years. But it's like, just because we see a cameo or an appearance of a black person or a blonde person or a redhead person doesn't mean that they're either Gwen, Miles, or Mary
Yeah.
Jane. It's not like that. Or if we just see some blonde dudes, like, that's not Flash Thompson. Like, guys, what are we doing?
I probably wish it was.
Yeah, God, I fucking hate this
Okay,
universe.
so
Flash Thompson.
okay, so so I want to get your guys' opinion on this on the podcast, right? Because I know I'm switching topics a little bit here. I'm jumping around, but
We
this
do
has been
that
something
anyway.
this has been something that's been nagging at me since I watched the film, right? So Spider-Man is chasing after Jean Grey. She's taking over the guy in the helicopter. Spider-Man webs him up,
We talked about
webs
this.
him up, right? And then just leaves him there. So the problem with this plan is that no one else knows that Jean Grey is inhabiting that civilian's body. So you know what's going to happen when they see that massive helicopter with a civilian trapped inside it, stuck in webs? They're going to bring it right back down into her 33 jump radius. And then she somehow gets all the way to Mary Jane before Spider-Man. How does she do, or MJ before Spider-Man? How
She
does
can
he
jump
do
really
that?
fast. She can
Yeah.
she can
Okay,
jump,
I've
and there's
seen
like
that,
it's
but,
like
like,
people crossing roads like that. She can jump into them faster than he can
she's
swing
stuck
there.
way higher than 33 feet, right? So we have to consider response times for her to get down, or for at least people to show up at least a few minutes, right? Spider-Man's quick as fuck. I just don't reasonably believe that Jean Grey could have made it there that fast. I just don't think it's possible. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It does seem a little weird. It
And
does.
also, why would Spider-Man do that? Because like,
why wouldn't Spider-Man
take her somewhere far away, right? Like, or at least just hide this random or hide like Jean Grey far away. Why did he just do that? Like, obviously she's gonna be able to get out of that trap.
Yeah.
It just
trying to
doesn't make
think-
sense to me.
It is
It
something
also
that's-
feels weird that Spider-Man, put that guy in a helicopter and didn't tell anyone else, like, maybe even the Wolf, like, do not let him down. Keep him up there. Like, the webs last 2 hours. He has time.
Mhm.
Like, what are we doing?
It just doesn't make sense, right? And I know that's just like, and I know that's like a small thing, like, oh, a little logical inconsistency, but then that leads into like one of the most important scenes of the film, which is where Jean Grey takes over MJ's body, right? For an
Yeah.
important scene like that, the small logic is extremely important in narrative storytelling. So for some massive for some, in what my opinion, to see like a massive logical hole, right? It takes away from that.
Yeah.
I may have a possible answer. I don't know for sure, but obviously after the scene where, after Jean Grey leaves MJ's body and the guy comes up, speaking through, like Jean Grey's taking over this guy speaking to them. We notice that
Jean
she's
Grey.
in a car. It's Jean Grey. We love Jean
I
Grey.
caught that little slip up. Jean Gay.
Yeah.
Jean Gay.
What I was going to say is, what we do know is that she's in a car. So I'm just thinking, once she's been caught up in the web, she probably then just leaves the guy's mind and then just drives to the thing or nearby, or
Yeah,
just
because
leaves.
she doesn't hop out of her own body.
Yeah,
That's probably what it was.
that's my only logical explanation I could think of it.
We know that she can't control two people at once, at least not at that current point. She can't. But yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of could make sense because she doesn't get locked out of her own body by jumping into someone else's mind. So she probably
No.
hopped out of his mind and then just started hopping into other people's. That could have been it.
That's the only logical thing I could
yeah,
think of.
That does make a bit of sense, but for to do like that level of like theory crafting for something when it could have easily just been like, Spider-Man got the wrong guy or something. Like I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of this logically of any other way. But like I'm trying to make my point here. I'm very tired, but I'm really tired and I'm starting to stammer. I lost like my concentration from the first 15 minutes.
You're all good. It's like 1 a.m. for Geeky right now.
Damn. That's tragic.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, that was just like a major thing.
Thanks.
My life is tragic.
Sorry, my bad.
Bisexual British and ginger.
My fault, bro.
Bisexual British ginger and tire. That's a fourth one. Holy shit.
If it helps, I
was trying to
slept all
think-
day.
Oh, also one thing. I barely know anything about X-Men, but this is something that I wanted to bring up with y'all that I've been seeing online a good bit, which, I think this is pretty interesting, right? Universal inhibitors leading to the X-Men like mutant collars that suppress their powers and then the subsequent mutant holocaust.
I've seen
And
that online.
Spider-Man is responsible for that technically because he was the first person to ever create the technology.
Yeah, he obviously doesn't mean for it to be stolen like that.
He doesn't mean for it to be
but
bad.
He's definitely going to beat himself the fuck up for doing that.
Yeah,
I
and
think-
also it's also like it is eugenics at the end of the day. It's temporary eugenics, but that's what it is, right? And I feel like Spider-Man at this point would be a bit smarter than to do that. And also,
Yeah.
like, when is Spider-Man gonna learn to take advice, bro? Like, you got Dr. Bruce Banner telling you, hey, this is really dangerous. Hey, this is dangerous, And then you got MJ who's like, hey, this is dangerous. This is like altering your DNA, dude. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. And he still does it. And it blows up in his face, right?
Yeah. Then again, he has that habit in all the movies. Like, anyone could have told you, do not give those glasses away to Mysterio, and he did it anyway.
Yeah,
he
but
did
it's
it
like,
anyway.
When does it get to like we started the series with him, like we started the Tom Holland arc with him like failing to save the ship and like Tony like reprimanding him or whatever, whichever event happened. I can't remember the full details. But we started the series with him like doing something against a role model's advice for him. He does it anyway and he fucks it up. And now we're 3 films later and he's still doing the same thing. And now Peter Parker could be responsible for the mutant holocaust.
That might be the most.
I think it's just the matter that it's a kind of technology that just falls into the wrong hands, because Damage Control now has it, and they can now study it. That could be a problem, and I have a feeling that Damage Control is going to be the new reason for like the mutant holocaust, because we've already seen them experimenting with mutants like Jean Grey's sister and Jean Grey herself.
That's funny you mention that. Bill, who the guy in Damage Control in the movie, in the comics,
My name's not Bill.
No, the guy in the film, you dipshit.
I know.
It's 1 a.m. Give me a fucking break. I was gonna say the guy in the comics, he's a very anti-mutant character. In fact, he gets killed by Magneto in the comics. So there's obviously that connection there.
Yeah. I have a feeling that's where we're going, because Oh wait, D23's today as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it started yesterday, it's today, and then tomorrow. So by the time I wake up, we might get some more Marvel shit.
Yeah. And you know we're gonna be talking about it here, so stay tuned for that,
Yeah.
guys.
Not in this
So-
episode though. We're not
Anyways,
psychics.
I wanna go ahead and transition here into a lot more of the more positive stuff. Less plot holes, just pure peak. The characters, how they handled all the characters, either from, the rest of the MCU stuff or just the characters that were in just primarily the Spider-Man storylines. Because I think they handled all of them pretty damn well, if I may say so.
If I may say, one of my biggest worries going into Brand New Day was the fact that they were bringing back MJ and Ned. I was like, when you had the ending, I felt like that was Peter letting them go. And I was really worried how they were going to handle them in this film. But I think they handled excellence. I can't. Fuck it. Well done. Let's say it's got that word. I can't speak today.
They're well done.
They're well done. But like,
Fuck it. It's well done. They did good.
but like with MJ, like they didn't have like, oh, let's just get them back together straight away. They were like, they had that moment with MJ, like, I don't love you. I don't even know you. And I was like, thank fuck you're not just undoing the last
Yeah,
film
that
immediately.
scene so much.
Dude,
I hated
the
that scene
swing
so much.
back
I
home
hated
was
that-
so
I hated that
awkward.
whole shit so much.
Hey, I don't know how to get home from here. Do you mind?
I'll call you an Uber.
Dude, if that happens to me, I'm blowing my brains out on the fucking
If I
spot,
was-
bro.
My problem with that is, right, obviously Spider-Man took her there, right? Kind of has to take her back, whatever. I think what MJ made was a reasonable request, right? Would I
Yeah.
be petty and not swing her back? 100% absolutely, but we're not going to talk about that. There's a reason why I'm not Spider-Man.
You'd be the Scarlet
But-
Spider with that attitude.
You'd probably be like Agent Venom or something. Like,
No,
damn.
don't diss my
But,
gut.
like, But like,
I'm not
here's
saying he's
my
not the
thing,
goat.
right? Like, you tell this guy that you don't love him. You ask him for a ride home, and then you're like, "Hey, do you want to hang out with me and your
That was
best
fucked.
friend
That
Yeah.
was
for
fucked.
like an hour?" Like, dude, like you have no right after you tell this dude that you don't love him anymore to be like, "Hey, do you want to come hang out?" Like, no.
I like that we
time
got
and
to see-
place.
I do like that we got to see, since we got a bunch of scenes with MJ, primarily. I am glad at least that we got to see something with Spider-Man and Ned.
I'm glad
I
we
like
got
how in that
too.
Yeah.
I'm glad throughout the whole scene he didn't take his mask off, but then the ending happened. So,
The ending.
Does he know him? Does he
but
know?
Does he know?
I like that
Does
ending.
He know?
Does he know?
No.
Does he know?
Does he know?
What do you guys think? What do you guys think personally?
That ending?
It's
go
weird
first.
because when he says Peter, I don't think it's necessarily him remembering Peter Parker like his best friend. It's more that MJ mentions Spider-Man's real name is Peter, and that's him going, like, he realizes this is Spider-Man now in front of him.
See, but like my personal thing is the acting. I think this may be something where it was like where like just how the acting is done. Not anything against Ned actors. I think that scene was great and that moment was great. But like you can tell in his like facial expressions and like his body language that like it wasn't just him like putting the pieces together. That
It's
like
muscle memory.
Yeah.
that like that wasn't him putting the pieces together like, oh, this is Spider-Man, because if he knew that, he probably would have freaked out. But that like moment you can see, you like, or at least when I see it, like something unlocks within him and he's like, Peter. He doesn't freak out and like, oh my gosh, or whatever.
You
I
gotta keep in
personally think
mind.
he remembers.
You gotta keep in mind he is the CEO, so he has extra powers.
CEO.
Oh,
CEO.
CEO.
Oh my god, I'm so glad we're bringing that up because I actually saw a TikTok. I just want to show to you guys real quick. The
I've seen
actor
that.
Jacob Batalon, he did a DoorDash commercial, right? And he is addressing himself as CEO. So he is fully embracing the meme now, and I
would
love
fucking
it.
embrace it. People calling
I-
the CEO of sex. And I'm
Oh,
a
I would-
virgin.
That's so real. I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, bro.
Where is it? I favorited it earlier. Hold on.
It's fucking
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Hey, it's me, the CEO. People think being the CEO is
Yeah, I've
easy.
seen that. I've seen
I
it's
love
great.
it. I love it so much.
Love it.
And just at the premiere, when everyone just saw Jacob Batalon, and everyone was just shouting CEO, CEO. It's just, I love that he's
Mhm.
embracing it. I love that Tom Holland loves the meme as well. It's so fun.
It is.
I will say, even though like the whole point of MJ and Ned's characters in this film was that they like just don't remember them, I will say their chemistry was definitely still there, and I'm definitely very happy. I'm going back to your criticism from before. It's like, yeah, everyone's expecting them to not be in the film anymore, after No Way Home. But
It wasn't that I didn't think they wouldn't be in the film. I thought they'd be a more smaller role than what was expected.
the chemistry and just the fact that they still came back, it's like it makes sense because do you really want to spend an entire movie reintroducing like new characters, like a new love interest, a new best friend? Do we want to see new characters when they are right there? And I'd rather not pretend that these characters don't exist anymore. I'd rather see them, be kind of built upon, and we get to see how Peter's reacting to the fact that they're still living in the world. Exactly like what we got in the movie. Like they're around in the world. They're still in New York. It's not like they're going anywhere. They're gonna be on social media. Of course he's gonna cyberstalk them because, like every, we've all done it.
What when you say we,
Come on.
Wait,
Geeky.
what?
Come on, Geeky.
I'm not a fucking stalker. Not online, anyway.
What? What?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay. But anyways, it's such like a normal like human impulse to be like, oh god, I miss my friends. Like it's not like he's cyber stalking them in a weird way. It's like, oh god, I wish I was there, blah blah blah. I hate that I did this, but I understand why I did in the first place. It's just seeing him deal with that guilt that he had to completely ruin that part of
His
their
life.
like they took that entire chunk of Peter's existence out of their lives. I remember there being a lot of frustration about the spell and why Peter didn't have them remember him. But we've seen now that reading the note didn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything because MJ read it, still doesn't remember Peter. It was the muscle memory from Ned that snapped them back to reality and was just
God
like,
damn it.
yeah, it's just like, what were you saying? God damn it to?
Sorry, I dropped something.
Oh,
I dropped
threw me off.
something. Yeah. No, I was like, I like looked up and then it was silent, bro. I was so confused.
You dropped the point to this argument.
But yeah, it's just like I'm glad that they brought him back just because it would make no sense just to bring in new characters and spend the whole movie just reintroducing new people, I think.
Can I
mean,
just say... You go ahead, MJ.
Sorry. Okay. I will say I'm kind of split. I'm like 50-50 on the inclusion of Ned and MJ and their role in the movie. Because on one hand, I can see how from a story arc aspect of just the events of what happens, right? Like, oh, he loses all of his friends and then they come back together, they break the spell or whatever. I understand that. And I think if done right, it can work really well. But I also understand the criticism that having them in the film and even having them remember, as much as I would love to see Ned and Peter like back to the original, they're back to their original
I
selves,
think their friendship was the best part of the Tom Holland films.
Yeah.
I would probably like fuck, what was I gonna say? Like, but from like a personal character arc aspect, I can also see how like their role in the film and even the possibility of them remembering kind of undermines the whole point of the spell and Peter's character arc and their character arcs as a whole.
But I also
Right,
think it's
and I
important to look at the grand scheme of everything where it's just like, the entire world knew him. The entire world has forgotten him. Peter and MJ are obviously they're no longer together. She doesn't remember him. And even when she found out what happened, she still was just like, this doesn't really change anything for me. It's just like, I still don't know who you are. I don't love you, blah, blah, blah. I'm still glad that they didn't get back together just because it just wouldn't make sense. But I think just with introducing the fact that two characters, and I guess Frank and Jean, they know who he is now. I think that's much better than just having the fact that every Avenger knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. He didn't have to reveal himself to anyone because Tony Stark knew who he was from the get-go, and he was kind of spoiling it for everyone. And it was just up to Peter whether he wanted to reveal it to the public or not, which is like, he should get more of an option than that. I think
Yeah.
it's better that we just have these characters, the the like 4 important characters that should know. That's all. That's it. And I'm glad.
Yeah. I'm not saying like everyone in the world remembers, just like,
Oh,
you
of
know,
course.
just a few characters that matter. But like, also, I want to harp back to your point on like, oh, why would we want to spend another film reintroducing character or like meeting new characters and all of that? I think that could have been actually very interesting because there are a lot of characters in the Spider-Man lore that they haven't used yet that they could have brought in. And I think to argue that like it's better to just bring back the old is more not necessarily lazy, but it's more cheap because you're not actually trying to create something new. You're just you're taking what's old and bringing it back.
Yeah, but at the same
And,
time,
like-
it's also how they develop these characters. Because whenever it comes to Peter making new relationships, and when it comes to Peter having to find new friends, there's always going to be a big, giant, fucking, humongous Ned-shaped hole in that entire picture.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ned, I'll repeat, was probably the best part about Peter Parker's growth as a character. He was always there. The thing that stuck with me the most, and why I'm glad I saw it in this film, was the handshake. Like, that is just like, that's iconic to Tom Holland Peter's character. And that means that Jacob, why am I saying that like I
Jacob.
know him?
CEO.
Yeah, the fact that CEO is just there, it just makes sense for at least Ned to be in the film. And I think with the fact that Far From Home, the only thing that was really good about that film, other than the fact that Mysterio was in it, even though he sucked in the film as well, was Peter and MJ's relationship. As rushed as it was still probably the best part of the film, in my opinion. So
I don't know. I still personally think that the best part of these films is just the overarching story arc.
yeah,
And how we see it grow and develop over time. Like that's art, like that is the magic of what captures these films, right?
Mhm.
Is that like it takes, in my opinion, right? It takes what the MCU did, like what the MCU as a whole did, and just shrinks it down to a single story and characters,
yeah,
right? In a way that is more meaningful than other just continuous stories do. I think there's something special that I'll try to find the words for it as we go along. I can't necessarily put my finger on it, but in my opinion, there's just like a certain magic that these films capture.
Mhm.
That makes
And
it
that's
special.
I think that's just the magic of Spider-Man as a character, because what it is by the end of the day, it's just hear me out.
Okay, where we're going with this? Where we going
TASM
with
2,
this?
baby. TASM 2. Let's get it going.
I will still say this: TASM 2 sucked. Don't get me wrong. Andrew Garfield was not the problem with that film. He just wasn't. He wasn't at all, and he's still the best
I don't think Andrew
Spider-Man.
Garfield was a bad Spider-Man at all, but like, you know,
The
Wasn't a
films
bad
fucking
film.
are
Just because a
garbage. They're
movie-
terrible.
they're terrible, right? Just because a movie has a character
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean it captures a magic. I think arguably, if I had like in this rush, like really quick pondering over what could possibly be that magic, I think it's ultimately the chemistry between the actors. I think that's really what it comes down to. They're really able to sell the role.
Yeah. And
Right.
you can tell that all of these characters and all the people that are playing these characters just love this franchise with all of their hearts. Especially,
Mhm.
The fact that John Bernthal loves playing Punisher because he just loves the character. And he's always loved the character, and he's never wanted to do a disservice to the character. And he's made that his mission going into every single time he steps into the role. And that's what I just adore about, his acting choice. It's just it shows that he cares. And I think I can say the same for Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I will say occasionally he's been held back by writing. That's particularly to the fault of just, Sony execs, kind of fucking him over sometimes. And also just some, occasionally bad writing. But this film was not like that. With the direction of Dustin Daniel Cretton, I think we were finally able to get Tom Holland as a true, authentic Spider-Man 100%. And I said this outside the theater after we had watched the
You did
film.
say that.
I do think that over time, as more time progressed throughout the MCU and Spider-Man's appearance in it, he continued to become more and more and more and more like Peter Parker from the comics as time progressed. From No Way Home, after he, was forgotten, at that point, we got Spider-Man. We got Spider-Man.
I think because you mentioned this to me, and I think I have finally a way to put it into words. Well, yes, we did not get the street level Spider-Man. We did not get the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in the other movies like we did this one, right? But ultimately, what I think is magical about Spider-Man is not any specific tragic event that he goes through. It's his humanity, that even with the powers, you can tell that he is clearly still a human being with his own struggles and his own flaws in a way that is separate than other superhero characters. Because like Tony Stark, he has his alcoholism, but he's also a billionaire flying around in a nanotech mech suit. So like,
and he continued to learn from his mistakes. I think Iron Man's writing in the MCU was peak.
I'm not dissing Iron Man. I'm just saying.
Oh, of course not.
That,
I wasn't saying you were.
Spider-Man in particular has a humanity to him, and I think that we've been able to see that humanity clearly throughout these films, just in different forms. You can still tell that he's struggling, he's unsure, he doesn't necessarily fully know what to do, yet he still acts as a hero to the best of his abilities. That is ultimately the magic of Spider-Man. We just see it in a much different form than we are used to in the Tom Holland series.
For sure. And some would argue that that's a good thing. I'm a little bit in between on that, just because it's like, we had ups with him and we also had downs. I think the highest of highs was this movie and No Way Home, and even his, final goodbye to Tony in Endgame. But then we had his lows, like how kind of underwhelming he was in Homecoming, and also just how
Homecoming sucked. Low key.
Whoa. Whoa.
Like,
I don't think it sucked. I think it was just a mid movie.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
well, that was MJ's last appearance on the podcast, guys. Thanks for listening.
All right,
MJ has been removed from the hot takes episode.
I still got hot takes. I still gotta be on that hot takes episode. I want to try to rate. I want to try to see what horrible opinions I can try to form. But
they gotta be real opinions.
What was I
though.
saying?
You can't just say something to piss us off.
I won't say. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna spoil it a little bit, right? 3 of them will be my actual opinion. And then one of them, my dad has been reading comic books ever since he was a kid, and he was born like 68, 69, right? So he's been reading comics for like decades now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask him, in his opinion, what he thinks the opinion that will piss off the most comic book fans the worst. And I'm going to include it in one of mine. And you guys will not know which one of mine is genuine and which one is the one that is specifically designed to make you guys mad.
Can I just say, I'm glad you got a comic opinion, because in my hot takes, I got one of mine is a comic opinion.
Yeah.
Movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say I'm a little bit of a bitch. I think all of mine are about the MCU. I'll be honest. I might need to rewrite one of mine. Hold on.
I need to read.
Oh, actually, no. Technically, one of them is about the comics. I
mean, technically, they're all kind of about the comics because, like, they all start with comics.
One of them ties into the comics.
Yeah.
Can I say,
anyways,
if we circle back, because I wanted to give my opinion on them not introducing new characters, because you two then went on to like a long. I was like a third wheel here. I was just silent, like listening to you two.
Before you start talking, I'm gonna actually walk away and go to the bathroom. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a massive dump really quickly for your opinion.
I'm gonna take like a 30-minute dump, so I don't have to hear you talk.
I'm gonna take a Weston dump.
What the fuck? I don't really want to know.
Weston's one of our friends. I'm adding him out in the pod. I'm gonna say it. He takes the fucking humongous shits that take him like 30 minutes.
We were late to so many concerts at Lollapalooza because Caden and fucking Weston were shitting in the bathroom, bro. It was really getting on my nerves.
Dude, we work with this kid, and he's been late to work like 4 times in the past like 2 weeks, just because he was taking a dump. Like literally, just last night. No, not last night. Actually, yeah, last night he was late. I'm like, let me guess, you were shitting? Like, dude, I had the fattest diarrhea ever. I'm like, fucking knew it.
I'm gonna
Oh.
make sure to bring this up to Weston next time he tries to get on me about
wanna
I'm
it.
say-
going to send him this clip.
All right.
I just want to clarify. I'm glad that you mentioned it was like a person. Because when you said like a Western dump, I was like, what? As opposed to like an Eastern or Southern shit. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like a Western dumb.
No, but
My
you go ahead.
collar's
You go ahead.
blue,
I
but
don't
my
wanna keep-
neck is red.
Oh my god, we're never gonna get Geeky's opinion.
Sorry.
With like the possibility of them not introducing new characters, because obviously, like you said, there's a lot of characters in the comics. There's obviously Gwen Stacy, who we kind of mentioned earlier. There's obviously got Harry Osborn as well, but they've kind of made Ned Leeds the Harry Osborn type figure, and they've said that Osborn
Yeah.
doesn't exist. But there's a ton of characters within the Spider-Man comics that have yet to be really introduced or explored. On the one hand, I would have liked them if we started a new trilogy to possibly tease and set up new characters. But on the other hand, I'm also understand from a story perspective why it didn't, because the whole point of Peter Parker, why he left off in No Way Home, but him not just telling MJ right then and there, because he notices the scar, and he realizes that by being Spider-Man, I'm dragging all these people into these dangerous situations. That's
Yeah.
why he doesn't tell. That's why for like 4 years he kept Ned and MJ out of his life, because he's being Spider-Man. He's doing all this dangerous shit. So it would make no sense for him to be like, I'm gonna keep these guys out of my life because they're my friends, but also then go make new friends and get a new love interest. It would not make
and
any
drag someone
sense.
else into the trouble. Like,
Yeah.
that just wouldn't make sense.
Can I say to throw this out there? Do you think down the road we will see like a Gwen Stacy or a possible Harry Osborn type character, or do you think?
I'm
We're
gonna
not.
say I'm doubtful. I'll get into that in a second, but I do actually need to take a leak. I will be right back.
Okay. I was gonna say I'm doubtful of that. I feel like they would have already done it. It feels a bit too late in the story to start adding. As much as I made the comment of add new characters, at the same time, I also do recognize that like it's probably a bit too late in their minds to do it. Not saying that I personally disagree with the idea, but that in the writers, it's just like, oh well, we're 4 movies in at this point. We've kind of already the ship on Gwen Stacy is already kind of passed.
I think it doesn't help that we've kind of just skipped the entire college era of Peter Parker and
Yeah.
Spider-Man. We had the high school, which was pretty much all in 3 films, but then
Mhm.
we get this film. I understand the film's coming out a few years later, and the MCU timeline is a bit confusing to follow because of the
Yeah.
5-year gap. But I'm don't even know what year we're in at this point. In
Mhm.
MCU, not real world. I know we're in
Yeah.
2029 in real life.
You hit your head before the podcast, dude.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I got Netflix lottery numbers if you want them.
Oh yeah, far.
But it's kind of annoying that we're kind of skipping just that entire era of Peter Parker. It would have been nice to. I think what this film kind of missed, and something what I really wish is we do see the struggles of Peter Parker when it comes to relationships and friendships and what he has to give up to be Spider-Man. But we don't see, like we see in the Tobey Maguire, like in Spider-Man 2, we see the other personal struggles of trying to keep a job, being late to class. We don't see that, and we kind of skip over that, and it's kind of annoying that we don't even see Peter Parker even have a job, because it doesn't explain how the fuck he's paying for rent in this kind of nice place.
He should
And
be
I mean,
working with the Daily Bugle.
And I mean, here's also my thing, right? I actually didn't think about this until you just brought it. As much as I praise the series for oh, we see these characters grow over time, right? We see these characters develop and the story develop over a long period of time. They do skip over college, which I never even really thought about up until you just said it, which, yeah, I agree with you on that personally.
If they were to do the college, that could have been where they could have possibly teased Gwen or Harry. That would have been a great sense. It'd be really interesting to see them, though, actually introduce Harry Osborn into the universe, because given Peter Parker's history with Osborns in the past from the alternate universe.
Here's the problem with that, though, actually. And recently this came out. The unfortunate truth is, after No Way Home, I think either Sony or Marvel or someone said that they are not going to redo these characters, that they don't have any plans to, and they don't really want to, which unfortunately means we're probably not getting Osborn. We're probably not even getting Oscorp, which, frankly, I'm kind of pissed about, because I would have liked to see that. But at the same time, that would also make it a little confusing. It's already been done. Yeah, we've already seen it, just in other films, and B, he also knows that the, quote, Oscorp company does exist in another universe, and that Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, who he had major feud with in the last film. It exists. It's a thing. And if he ever were to hear that it would come back, immediately he would try to shut it down before it even got started. And you probably know that after that, he was probably looking around like, does a Norman Osborn exist? And even I think in No Way Home, Norman Osborn said he doesn't exist in the universe, or someone else living in my home.
The only way I could see them introducing Oscorp, like you said, and I mentioned, like one to stop that was if we do get like a bit older Peter Parker. 'Cause in some incarnation of the comics, he does have his own company in some comics. It'd be really interesting to see if they kind of do that route with him getting his own company or starting some kind of company, and then hears about Oscorp and being like known the history of them. Like he has to become a rival to Oscorp to stop them because he knows about them. That's the only way I can see them introducing Oscorp in some way.
Yeah, it's why I'm a little bummed about them introducing all these old characters back in No Way Home. Don't get me wrong, the story was amazing, the movie was amazing. It's just in the grand scheme of everything, like we're not going to see these characters again. We're probably not. We're not going to see a Dr. Octopus. We're not going to see Electro. We're not going to see Green Goblin. And that's what fucking sucks. We might see a Hobgoblin maybe, but I don't think we'll as much as people want it to be Ned would never become the Hobgoblin.
He wouldn't. No,
he would never want to be the Hobgoblin. It's just not his
CEO
character.
now.
I think it's personally fine if they don't reuse these characters, because ultimately, like it's like we've said, they've been covered before, right? I feel like we should be focusing on new content, and it was honestly even shocking that in my opinion, it was shocking that we got them back in the first place.
Yeah,
like I was not expecting them to ever bring back these characters from the other films.
The fact that they
did, and I'm glad that they did. I'm happy that I saw them again, and I'm okay. I'm fine with moving on.
I'm fine with moving on too, because we got to keep in mind there's a lot of other characters in Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. We almost got Mr. Negative in this movie. That'd be a cool story. We got Scorpion in this. That was cool. For what little we got him, but it's cool to see that he came back. We also got Tombstone, someone who wasn't set up prior. We got a little cameo from him. We could see some stuff with that go down. The actor who played Tombstone, I don't know if either of you have seen his clips from the Black Lightning CW show.
I've seen the clips. Do not say the word, Force.
I was never gonna go there. I was never gonna go there. What?
Just be careful where you go with us.
Dropping the nuke, baby.
I will say, out of context, those are the wildest clips ever. And MJ, I'm guessing you haven't seen them.
I haven't seen these. Hang on.
I am going to send them to you.
I have to take a leak really quick. I'm gonna go try to see that.
Are you back? Have you seen the clips?
Yeah, I saw the clip. Someone had to write that out, by the way. Just wanted to remind you.
I think it was improv. I think it was improv.
Disturbing. That's disturbing that was improv.
Dude, it's literally,
dude.
It's practically Uncle Ruckus in live action.
It is. That's what it is. I was like watching it. I was just like, oh, they're just gonna like drop the word or something, and then they like and then he just starts going and going. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my god, it's so funny.
We're gonna get to see more Tombstone right in the future, right? We
I
have
especially
to.
love the scene he opens up with. No, I love black people. And then he just berates this other black dude.
God.
It's like, holy shit.
Dude,
oh my god!
If only I had my mic on. The first thing that I said when I saw that clip was I just like yelled, "What the fuck!"
Holy fuck!
We just hear an echo down the hallway.
Yeah. Oh my god!
You know, can I say something? Actually, this is completely random, but the whole "what the fuck" just made me remember. Brand New Day did the whole scene of Aunt May knowing about Spider-Man's identity way better than they did in the Homecoming trilogy. I gotta say, even though it's like in his memory, but like in the Homecoming when she finds out he's Spider-Man, it's just like a what the and then it's a funny little gag, and then we just move on from it. But then in this film, we actually get the memory of the moment from when Jean Grey goes.
Oh yeah, like
mind.
probably the quote lecture he would have gotten from May, but May wouldn't give a lecture she would tell him that what you're doing is a good thing, probably, or something along those lines. But
Oh,
that
wait.
scene was very, very, very good.
This is something that I want to bring up. I want to jump back to being a hater. I want to jump back, not on you, Cooper, not on you. Not on you. But like, okay, the whole Jean
Are you sure this film?
Grey-
Are you sure this film? You give this film an 8 out of 10? Because so far you've just given it all negatives.
So far, you've just shit on it.
I really like the film. I'm also a filmmaker, so I look for the
Yeah.
critique more than I look for the positives because I can recognize when something. God damn, I'm having cancer.
Whoa. Whoa.
I got a cough in my throat. But like, okay. So I do, to be clear,
Got
I do
anxiety,
really
man.
love the film. I love the cinematography in it. I just have like a few like this is nitpick stuff at the end of the day. I'm a filmmaker, right? This is what I do. I just I watch films and I critique them. But like, I don't think that Jean Grey really had a proper redemption in the film. Cause yeah, she saves Spider-Man's life using her magic, but like
She should still be locked away.
she did a lot of bad shit, man.
did
There was
threaten-
no
She
redemption
did threaten
there.
to kill everyone that was in her bubble. Like that was
She did threaten. Also, let's not forget the MJ and Peter kiss scene.
that was crazy.
That was
Not
fucked.
even
That-
talking about the emotional impact, but that's like
That's so fucked up.
that.
That's about as fucked up as them in Marvel Rivals. They gave the Age of Ultron skin to Scarlet Witch, and her fucking like her victory screen is her falling on the ground after Quicksilver died.
In Age of
Damn.
Ultron. Yeah, it was insane. You showed me that yesterday.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
No,
Like,
but,
that's so fucked.
I don't think that Jean Grey like really got a redemption in the film. Like, yeah, she learned a lesson, but like
She learned a lesson. She didn't get redeemed for actions, which I think
She
we'll
didn't-
have a lot of that when the X-Men film rolls around. Because I mean, it's all but confirmed at this point. Like
Yeah.
it's happening
Probably get some kind of announcement at D23, like casting
soon.
with that.
We're gonna be seeing it soon for sure.
yeah, it's gonna be like Chris Evans. They're gonna bring back another like actor or something, like they did for Tony Stark.
I don't think so. I don't think they will this
No.
time.
I think
'cause
it'll be a
that's
whole
only,
new
that's only like an
thing.
Avengers level thing, and I don't think they would. Like
We
Ian
got
McKellen.
this-
Ian McKellen is like what, like 90 now. It's like-
He still got it in him. Making
We're gonna make
Professor
it do it
X.
till he's 90.
I mean,
Just wheel
Patrick
him on
Stewart,
set.
Patrick Stewart fucking retired. Like he's done after Doomsday.
I don't think he has retired. I think that was like a misquote thing. But what would be
No,
great, you know,
I
you're
think he did.
saying when you're saying like they're gonna bring up old cast. I was thinking they just reuse actors, but they just change the actor's name a little bit. So you don't,
90.
but you wouldn't realize it. Oh, who's playing Cyclops? There's this actor called Tom Tolland.
There's this actor called Tom Tolland. And
There's
he walks-
American.
It's Tom Tolland. He speaks with an American accent, but Cyclops is British in this movie.
No, it's Tom Holland, but you know those like fake glasses with a fake nose and fake mustache. He
Oh,
just comes on stage wearing
Got
that.
Mark's glasses. Yeah.
It's not even that. It's just like the Stan Lee disguise from the Lego Marvel
Mhm.
games.
What did you guys this is random and off topic, but I do want to get your opinion on this. What do you guys think of Robert Downey Jr. coming back?
Can I
Oh,
say?
we've touched on this already.
Can I say before I actually answer that, I do want to counter your point about Jean Grey's redemption. I have something to say. I do get
Okay,
where
yeah,
you're
you
coming
go
from. I do get where you're coming from, where she isn't necessarily redeemed. But I think the ending wasn't implied that she is redeemed. Rather, now this is the start of her redemption story in the
Yeah.
next project. Because we've seen that, like with the Thunderbolts, for example, they've all done bad things in their previous projects. Then Thunderbolts was kind of like their, aside from Bucky, really, and obviously I think Elena as well, because obviously she gets unmined in Black Widow. But you know, like one of my favorite characters, John Walker. Like at the end of the Falcon Winter Soldier, he isn't just magically redeemed. He does the right thing, but I don't see that as him being redeemed. That's the start of his redemption story now.
He doesn't
And-
even get set up for a redemption at the end of Captain America: Winter Soldier. He gets set up as a it's like they're trying to frame him as a threat. But when Thunderbolts rolled around, all of the characters in that film were genuinely redeemed. Like Ghost, even Ghost was redeemed. It's like, I mean, we'll always glaze the shit out of Thunderbolts because me and Geeky, we love that film. We love it.
My favorite.
You guys
Marvel
love
film.
that film?
It's gonna be on my hot takes. Trust me, you're gonna hear me about it.
I thought it was good. Don't get me wrong. It was definitely better than like most of the
We love the
MCU.
film.
Not most of the MCU, most of the new MCU past
Yeah, for sure.
Endgame.
Well, that's not
It's
a fucking
definitely a
challenge.
way-
I could have recorded something with my webcam.
Thunderbolts is better than
than.
Infinity War. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was about to say, bro.
we
You
were-
said
oh my
something
God.
about
Oh my God.
Endgame.
Yeah. So we were walking out of theater. This is really funny. We were walking out of the theater, and I'm like, I adore this film. I adore this film. I fucking love it with my dick and balls, bro. And I'm walking out of the theater, and I turn to MJ. I go, dude, I might like this more than Endgame. And then I was like, I'm putting on my hot takes, and he's like, dude, you're fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy. I'm like, backspace. I actually just thought about it. No, never mind.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Endgame, in my opinion,
because I remember
will always be the-
I had just rewatched it literally before walking into the theater like the night prior. I'm like, no, no.
Yeah.
I do
No,
a hot
don't
take on
think-
Thunderbolts, which you'll see in the video when we do the hot takes.
Mhm.
God, can't wait. But yeah, I also want to talk about just the Punisher.
Wait,
Punisher-
I
We
wanted to
got
bring that up. I
Yeah.
love the Punisher in the film. I thought he was so good.
Let me be frank.
If you had told me just like a year ago, I would see a Punisher Spider-Man team up, and I would see Frank Castle wearing a Spider-Man mask, jumping and cheering out the window, I would have said, "You're out your fucking mind."
I love
And yet
that
here we
scene.
have it, and it's
I like
great.
the growth of Punisher's relationship with Peter, because obviously from the get go, it's not like they're not like they don't hate each other. They don't. They're both trying to do good. Frank has different methods. Spidey has different methods. It's just like they're going to clash a little bit. But at the end of the film, when Frank accidentally shoots Peter, it's like he's like, "Oh shit! I think I kind of see the error in my ways." I don't think his character and his methods are going to change.
They
in the
better
slightest.
not change him. They're
They're
not.
not
I
going
adore
to.
the
They're
Punisher.
not going to. They wouldn't. But at the same time, it's just like it was so nice to see, his reaction being there at Peter's bed, just really beating himself up for it. And I think you can kind of tell that Peter reminds him of his own kids, especially of his son.
And
Which
they did mention that,
Mhm.
they did reference his family in the film, like briefly with MJ looking at the.
and Jean
cover.
Grey just going, "This guy's messed up."
This guy's got issues.
This guy's got issues. But yeah, I think Frank might be one of my favorite characters in the film, just because of how true they stayed to the character in it.
Mhm.
It's just
I
like
think
they didn't go off a side plot where like suddenly he's Disney-fied and he's just like softcore Punisher.
Mhm.
It wouldn't make sense.
I
Softcore Punisher. Why did I say that?
Softcore Punisher. Name of my sex tape, baby. Let's get it going.
I'm 100%. I've seen that porno before. Softcore Punisher. I've seen that. It was a great film. I've seen that
You
porno.
said that, Cooper. I was like, what the fuck?
Fuck.
Oh,
man.
Jesus Christ.
Softcore.
Well, there's one for the
Glad we
Clips
didn't
channel.
get Softcore Punisher. Cooper wants it hardcore, baby.
I want the hard Punisher. Cooper, we found a clip for the Clips channel.
We found a clip.
Okay.
We found the clip.
Okay, MJ, real quick question for you. Have you ever read a pop-up book?
Pop-up book?
Anyways, another character I do want to talk
Moving
about
No,
in this film. No.
Doesn't matter,
Another
doesn't
character I
matter,
want to
it's
talk about in this film.
No.
is-
What the fuck do you mean? Have
Dude,
I ever read a
Bruce
pop-up
Banner
book?
in this film. I'm so glad we are back. Oh my
Yeah,
god, I'm so glad we're back.
Rage Hulk's back, baby.
Yeah, dude, Savage Hulk, finally, he's back. I'm gonna say this. I was arguing with MJ. I'm outing your ass about this.
Okay,
He
this
actually
is one of my
likes
hot
Smart
takes.
Hulk.
I like Smart Hulk. What's the problem with Smart Hulk? I understand it, like, nerfs his character, but like from
Yes,
a character arc, it makes sense. Bruce Banner is constantly confirmed by himself in the movies. He's always angry, right? He's always feels like shit. He's constantly dealing with this beast that is also living within his own body. I was gonna say it like a beast inside of him, but I'm not gonna say that. I wasn't gonna
Softcore
say
Hulk.
that.
He
But-
can feel the beast coming inside him.
But God damn it.
Fuck me.
This might be the funniest episode yet.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, but like I like Smart Hulk. I like seeing Bruce Banner happy. Like I'm not gonna like say it super hard and defend this because like I know it's a bad hill to die on. But you'll find my corpse on that hill any day. I like Smart Hulk. I thought he was
Yeah,
cool.
and your corpse deserves to rot on that hill because Smart Hulk was really not a good change. I will say at the time,
I think it
was
worked
pretty
at the
hype.
time.
At the time, it was really good, but the way that they adapted him from then on, they made Hulk in every movie in his appearance very serious prior, except for Ragnarok. Because I'll be honest, I fucking hate the Hulk's humor in Ragnarok because it just doesn't make sense. But at the same time, it's just like the Hulk was always such a ultra serious character. He did not have a lot to laugh about, did not have a lot of time to make jokes. He was always in his head. I just got done rewatching Age of Ultron. Dude, the absolute anger that you know is just always flowing through Bruce Banner is especially apparent in those early films. From Avengers, I put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out, to him saying, I could choke you to death without ever changing a shade. We never see Bruce Banner say lines like this after the Smart Hulk's appearance. The only other scenes that are actually good with Smart Hulk are when Bruce Banner is outside of the Smart Hulk body, talking to the Ancient One in the past, discussing what's going on with the Infinity Stones, and when Smart Hulk snaps his fingers to bring everyone back. That's the last bit of good we got with Smart Hulk. From then, he was a completely unserious character that didn't make sense. From the beginning of his appearance in Endgame, when he's just like, Dab, shut the fuck up, shut up, to his really frustrating appearance in She-Hulk, where he was just letting her say her anger is way worse than his. It's
okay,
not.
but also here's the like I was originally mad when I first saw that clip, but also if Bruce was to get mad at that and start doing like the trauma competition of like who has it worse, he would have just lost control. Right? Like he's kind of in a point where it's like where you're living with like a rage monster inside you, right? You can't necessarily get angry.
I'm gonna say that's wrong, just because the only reason he turned back into Savage Hulk was because he lost the inhibitor. The Hulk turned back into Smart Hulk. I think he's able to control that after the inhibitor comes off. But when he's back in human form naturally, he still doesn't have the inhibitor off, and he's like still like coming to sense. That's when Savage Hulk was able to break out. That makes a little bit more sense to me. So I don't think in that moment he would have turned into Savage Hulk in that show. Also, based on what we saw in the film, he didn't mention his son a single time. We are so back. That motherfucker doesn't exist in his bad hairline. Holy shit. Do you know what I'm talking about, MJ?
What? Oh yeah, he has. I didn't watch She-Hulk. Like, because I heard it was bad, and I was like, I'm not gonna spend my time on this. But I did see the ending where he like,
in the MCU,
where he like brought out his son out of nowhere. Hulk smash! Like that was like I don't know what else to say about that. Like, I mean, I could get mad at it, but then also, okay, yeah, but it's like on one hand, I get that like that like it really doesn't make sense and it's bad, but also at the same time it implies that the Hulk gets play, and I like that idea, so I'm gonna like that. I like that idea a lot. I really like that idea.
Well, to be fair, doesn't he have like a little like relationship with Valkyrie at one point?
The other thing with Natasha, I remember that.
Well, yeah, dude, watching Age of Ultron, and then Tony Stark going, Nat, Bruce, I could really use you guys right now. I hope you're not playing hide the zucchini. I thought that was a really funny line.
I've seen that porn before. What? Nothing.
You've seen a lot of that.
Which is really funny
These
because
are
porn.
two times where we made a porn
CEO
joke,
of
and you've
porn.
been like, I've seen
This is-
that. Let's
You know,
discuss
MJ, this is
No, I'm
really
just
ironic
kidding.
because porn is actually banned in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I
That's why
forgot
the
about
joke. That's
that.
why
That
I'm doing
was
the
really
joke. Like I've
funny.
seen that porn.
So what the
I
fuck
was
are your
like,
sources?
gosh.
What kind of
He
black
was
market
like-
shit are you looking at?
Car boot sales. The thing I liked was the guilt. The one thing I liked when you mentioned the older films with the Avengers and Age of Ultron, the guilt. Even though Bruce doesn't have any control over the Hulk does his Hulk thing, and he causes a lot of damage, puts a lot of people in danger. But Bruce Banner always carries that guilt. They brought that back with this film, where after he's stopped down, he's being taken away in the ambulance. Like he's like, is anyone hurt? Is everyone okay? Because he feels probably genuine guilt over what's just happened with the Hulk.
Yeah. And on top of this, this isn't our first time seeing the Hulk mind controlled because again, we saw it in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Surprising how much we're talking about Ultron here. But after that whole, mind control thing, when he's starting to get off of it and he's the Hulk himself, not Bruce Banner, when the Hulk is looking around, he's seeing the damage that he's done. So obviously, the Hulk himself has a heart. So him looking around all the destruction, it's not unlike what we saw in Brand New Day. The Hulk saw through Spider-Man's lenses, saw his eyes, like, I'm hurting a person, something like that, I don't know. And just doing as much damage as the Hulk does, I'm not surprised by that outcome. I'm not. And Bruce Banner immediately would have snapped back and been like, oh my God, what happened? Who did I hurt? How much damage did I do? How can I help? Blah, blah, blah. It's Bruce Banner stuff. So, yeah. I think they handled him well.
I really love the Hulk in the movie. Sorry, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say, speaking with Bruce Banner, it's not necessarily to do with Bruce Banner, but obviously he's a teacher at this university, giving lectures. There was a lovely little Easter egg where they referenced Cindy Moon, aka Silk, from the comics.
They did.
The girl
I missed that part in the lecture because I was taking a leak.
In the
I
film,
think
yeah.
MJ, do you remember in the theater when I was going to take the bathroom then? Did you see me like look up at the theater and be like, fuck, that's Bruce Banner. I'm gonna like speed run this piss.
No, yeah. I was like, I didn't know. I noticed that you were still looking at the screen as you were walking away, like the entire time. But like as soon as you got up to walk away, and I was like, dude, you had to pick this scene of all.
I thought it was a good downtime. And then I see Bruce Banner on the screen. I'm like, fuck, I gotta be fast. Fastest piss I've ever taken in my life.
Completely off topic, but every time I go to the cinema, I always force myself to have a piss before the film, even if I don't need it, just so I know I'm bladdered empty.
I get a smart water every time I go in.
I just give up. I gave up on
You
that.
just
when I
pinch
was
yourself
like
in
10
the
years
seat.
old.
You just soil yourself.
No. I gave up on like missing the on like trying to stay in my seat for the entire time. Like when I was 10 years old, I was just like, it's not worth it. I'll just lean over and bother whoever I'm going with and just be like, what happened? And then it's not gonna make sense.
That's what I do.
With it.
Yeah,
I thought for
I did that for the back rooms as well when I went with our friend Dylan.
The fucking back rooms.
We're
We're not gonna get sidetracked on that.
gonna talk about that after. Anyway,
I was gonna say when you said MJ,
tell me
when
what
you
happened.
leaned
I'm gonna
over,
go get us some snacks.
MJ, when you said you leaned over to bother the person, I thought you were gonna say I leaned over and just pissed in the aisle or something. I thought you were gonna say something like that.
he like pisses in the little cup holder next to the recliner seats.
That's a good idea. I'll make sure to remember that method next.
Anyways, I think there's not really. Oh, VMAX. I just want to talk about VMAX real quick.
Oh my god, what a plot twist!
What a plot twist.
Because we think it's something big.
I love how they did this because they set VMAX up like it's some, like chemical, something to do with the mutants, something to do with stuff like that. It's the last thing her sister saw before she died.
I love
that.
I did really love that.
That was such a cool plot.
That was probably
God.
one of my favorite parts of the movie.
I'm just grateful that we got to see actual Sarah Gray in this as well. And it's not just focused purely on Jean Grey. We got to see a bit of an actual family.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I liked, there was like a nice little touch, is the colors Sarah's wears are like the green and yellow, which is obviously what Jean Grey wears in the comics with the X-Men, her suit color. So you can definitely see that they are going to pay like homage to that when she wears the iconic suit or adapts that suit in some way in the future. You know it's going to be a reference.
Okay, I thought it
to
was,
the
I thought it was green and it's blue and yellow. Never mind.
no waste of a fucking time, Cooper.
Sorry.
Get out!
Sorry.
Get out! I'm joking.
Get out!
Just ran and grabbed my Jean Grey figure.
You know what's crazy though is obviously Sarah Grey is older than Jean Grey, but Sadie Sink is like, well, how is she, like 22, 23? And the actress who played Sarah Grey is 16 years old.
Wait, I forgot to bring this up. This is the one thing. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Cooper.
No,
I don't
you're
want to
good.
forget this though. This is the one thing in this film that I think I am the only one in this call who picked up on. There is a single line in the film. The first time when Peter's walking across the street talking to the wolf, there is a single line in the film where Tom Holland picks up just the slightest New York accent.
Oh, you mentioned this.
The tiniest New York accent you can hear, and it drives me insane because it's just one line. It's one singular line, but like one of my best friends is from New York. So like I'm pretty fucking familiar with the accent at this point. So I noticed it and I'm like, why? Like what?
And when you told me this, I remember being like, well, that's exactly what Andrew did in his films. I'm pretty sure Toby did it at one point as well. And I think it's completely an accident, completely coincidental. But I
didn't
never
notice
picked up
it.
on it.
I'm gonna have to
No,
rewatch this film now and then just look for it and see if I can hear it.
Did
Yeah,
you
I
did
didn't
you
notice
notice
it.
this on your first watch or your second watch?
I noticed this on my first watch. I immediately was like, that's because here's the thing. My best friend, right? He has like a Midwestern accent, except for like the tiny moments where he slips up or like gets passionate. So I'm always hyper vigilant to look out for the New York accent so I can make fun of him for it. And that's how I picked it up in the film. I was like, wait a damn minute. You're not from New York.
Well, he is. He's from Queens.
Well, you know what I mean.
Tom Holland's
Yeah,
not from New York.
dumbass. What now?
I mean,
guess
if he
It'd be
were
worse-
New York
that's the
It'd be
character,
worse if he did
you wanna
like
die on.
a thick Boston accent.
I'm walking here. I'm
Hey,
walking here.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Hey, I'm walking
here.
here. Hey, I'm
It's
swinging
Scorpion.
here.
Scorpion, I'm walking here.
Scorpion, I'm swinging over here, man. I'm gonna swing over there. I'm gonna swing over there. I'm gonna stop by the bodega. Give me a bacon, egg, and cheese.
I'm gonna stop by Mr. Delmar's bodega from Homecoming. Oh
Hey,
my
it's
god.
a pizza time. I can't say. I turned fucking Italian there. I turned Italian.
Pizza. Hey, it's a pizza time.
It's a me, Peter Parker.
Hey, it's a
You're just like,
pizza time.
it's a
You get-
pizza time.
You get your accents when you fix this damn door.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Can I just say, like, if we've mentioned a lot of nitpicks, there are two nitpicks. Well, one's not much of a nitpick, more of a disappointment. One's an actual nitpick. The disappointment was we didn't get more of Scorpion. I know Scorpion's not like a major villain who can carry a film on its own, but I was hoping for more Scorpion in this.
Yeah,
they made
it's
us
a
wait.
bit of a
Yeah,
bummer.
they did really underutilize him.
Keep in mind, Scorpion was in 2 scenes, and he was only Scorpion in actually one of the scenes. The other scene is he's possessed by Jean Grey. It's not even really Scorpion. I mean, it is, but it isn't at the same time.
Not really.
And it's such a shame because Michael Mando is such an incredible actor, probably one of my favorite actors. Like from like Far Cry, Breaking Bad, sorry, Better Call Saul. Like when he was first introduced in Homecoming, and they teased him as like Scorpion, was like, oh shit, I cannot wait to see him do Scorpion. And then you've made us wait now 9 years, pretty much, and it's a quick cameo. I'm hoping we'll get him back at some point if they do like a Sinister Six Spider-Man team up. They have to do something. I don't want to do just that because they clearly tease him as a big threat when they did the post-credit scene at Homecoming. It's kind of like, oh, this is it.
I don't know if they tease him as
Yeah.
a big threat, like a humongous threat, but it's like
Well, they teased him as a threat.
they teased it as like they were doing the Sinister Six. Because I said, I know a couple guys in here who want to like beat the fuck out of him, stick his head in a dryer, stuff like that.
The MCU as a whole does have a problem of building things up and just like it being disappointing and like misleading fans. Because one of the things is like Hulk was also like underutilized in the film, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
like he's on one, like Bruce Banner is on one of the posters, and yet he's not like really used that much. Like, it's a very consistent thing for like the MCU to just build shit up and then just let it just fade away.
It is actually funny you mentioned that. This was like a long time ago, back when like this podcast was like kind of new, like a year ago. Me and Cooper had an idea of talking about MCU post-credit scenes that went nowhere. And that project that idea kind of got put in the back burner and kind of scrapped. But it might be good to revisit it at some point down the road. But the nitpicky thing I had with this was, you have his Spider-Man suit, and he's getting his, like, especially in the final battle, he's getting his ass kicked. He's got like blades and all that, and you can see he's beaten, battered, and bloody. What really annoys me is the suit never gets damaged.
I actually
Mr.
didn't
Blade.
even notice that.
You said Blade. I got fucking trauma flashbacks.
Sorry. But like,
No,
it would have been more fitting if, because that final scene where Jean Grey asks, are you Spider-Man or are you Peter Parker? And he's like, I'm both. It would have been much more fitting if he had like the broken mask we see, like, like in the end of the Tobey Maguire films, where he has like the half broken mask, where you see both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I felt that would have been way more fitting for him saying, I'm both. Because you see the Peter Parker and you'll see the Spider-Man.
I agree with you on that. I didn't notice
Thing
that.
is, they've already done that shot in Homecoming. Whenever Vulture like trapped him underneath all that rubble, and the
No, he had his
reason got
mask.
out
He
of
had
that
his
rubble-
mask off for that. He
He has his mask off for that, but they did the
Yeah.
shot of the half mask, half his face.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and they
but
also
you can
referenced
do
it.
it again.
You
Like,
can
Yeah,
do
they
it
also
again.
referenced it in No Way Home. Yeah,
even if you don't do that shot, just the fact that the suit isn't damaged, because Ben, he's being like, he's grind. When he first learns how the web swing with the organic web, and he's sliding across the floor, he's scraping, he's getting like blades, and
Oh, yeah, the webbing.
Actually,
We never
I've got
talked about that.
I've got two. Actually, sorry, I've got Geeky. Do you have anything more to say?
no,
by the way?
that was it. Just the fact. That
Okay,
the suit
I just
never
want to
gets
make sure you
destroyed.
get your opinion, because I know Cooper and I have been doing a lot of talking. There are 3 other things that I forgot to bring up in this that I talked about with Cooper. One of these I haven't talked about. I really did not like the ninja fight scene with it, where he's like, I'm both. That shit was corny, in my opinion. I didn't like that line. It wasn't a good quip.
Just
Like,
remind
it was so
everyone, this is
obvious.
MJ's last appearance on the podcast.
Okay, like, and he
That's
does, like-
another hot take.
and
We
then he
said
does, like,
only
the
prep
fu-
4. He's
then
given us
he-
4 on not the hot takes episode anyway.
Yeah.
and then he's like, and then he like does the big spinny move where he's like all serious, and he's like, it looks like a
That-
little kid's little league baseball photo.
What,
Like,
do you want him to just
it
go?
looked- no, where he's like falling down, and he's like doing the big spinny like
I know what
web
you're
thing.
talking about.
Like, I like
A little
it
bit more of like a
felt-
determined look would make a little bit more sense. Sure, he was high-key just like mogging the camera while he was doing that.
Yeah,
But-
I thought the fight with like the ninjas, it's just like,
I like that fight.
it's
I
like,
love
it feels
that
like
fight.
hell. It feels like hell yeah humor to me. It's like, hell yeah, Spider-Man fighting ninjas. That's awesome. That's sick.
Cause it is.
It's
It's like-
awesome.
You got okay. See, here's the thing.
It's not.
It's a superhero
though. It's trying
film.
so
It's a
hard to be-
superhero film.
It's trying so hard to be awesome in that scene, and that's
And
the
it
thing.
was.
Like,
And it was.
it wasn't. They tried so hard to
was.
be cool.
Who cares if it was corny? It was such a fun scene.
It was like, I was thinking that entire time. I was just like, dude, this is like not like an interesting fight. Like, in
The
my opinion,
shot-
it's like so over choreographed, bro.
The shot where Andrew Garfield comes back in, like, comes through the portal in No Way Home looks bad, but everyone loved it anyway because it was such a hell yeah moment.
That's
You're-
different, though. That's
No,
different.
no, it's
I'm
not.
talking-
No, it's not. It's not different.
You guys don't know what I'm talking. When I say hell yeah, I mean like the type of guy who's like, goth mommies or something. Like this whole like dude bro kind of like.
Where are you
have you
going
not
with
seen this online? Have you not hell yeah humor? Have you not heard of this before? Or am I using
Yeah, goth
terminology?
mommies.
No,
No,
I
okay,
mean
listen,
like
right?
where
It's that
people
thing
like
where
put
it's
a
just,
post
like,
and everyone plays like hell yeah in the comments. Is that what you're referencing?
It's just like one of those things where it's trying so
Banana bread
hard
at
to
work,
be a
dude?
hell yeah moment, where it's just like, oh look, just because of like just because of the scenario that he's put in, Spider-Man fighting ninjas, that's awesome, and little kid me probably would have loved that. But me, I personally didn't really care for the scene. I thought it was really cool when he kicked through the door. Everything other than that, I was just kind of like, eh.
I think we just had a really good teaser of what the Hot Takes episode is gonna be like.
This is gonna be a spicy episode.
This is gonna be a spicy episode.
So make sure you follow and subscribe for that, because oh boy, friendships
and I will be
are ending.
using every logical fallacy I know to argue in that episode.
And I will show up to your house and shoot you in the face. No, I'm kidding.
You can go ahead and try, bro. We got snipers on deck, man.
I can't.
Well,
I
you
get
got
a knock
Kevin
at the
Feige
door.
ready for spoiler gun.
I get a knock at the
You
door at
did.
3
God,
o'clock
this
in the morning.
Might be more
This
serious than I
ends-
thought.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna get a knock at the door at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's gonna be MJ going, "Surprise, Brett Boy," and he just shoots me dead with my fucking opinion.
He's gonna
Surprise,
pull up
Brick
to
Boy.
Wales just to murk your ass.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. No,
might be the first thing we've
and
all
then the
disagreed
other
on.
thing. Sorry, I had 2 other points. The other thing was also the destruction from this goes back to the very beginning where I was talking about like the city not reacting. The destruction that he caused from like his natural webbing where he was so out of control. Like that doesn't get talked about at all. That's just another minor nitpick. We don't have to like argue about that or anything. But my other thing is that in my opinion, they like did not show enough of Peter's struggle against like his arachnid DNA, right? We get like 2 scenes with it, then he completely gets rid of the problem with the inhibitor, or like a few scenes.
They spent like the first quarter of the movie with him figuring
I'm
out
talking
what
about
the
like
fuck was
actually
going
like him
on.
freaking out, like not just like the filler shit, right?
I love the scene, by the way, of just him like pushing the organic webs out and just go, because
Yeah,
that's
I like
such a
that.
valid reaction.
That
I
is- But
I'm
wish
not
Toby did
talking-
that in
I'm
his
not-
film.
I'm not talking about the scenes where he's like building the inhibitor or he's like, you know, or he's like just swinging around. I'm talking about the really, really important scenes of him when he loses control, right? We get a
Yeah.
few moments of that, then the problem
Jesus.
completely evaporates. He doesn't address the problem in a healthy way. And then all of a sudden he has complete control over it by the end.
What? Did that pick up on the mic?
What?
No.
Dude,
Oh, I see him in the background.
my sister and my dad just fucking scared the shit out of me.
Oh my God.
What? Am I being loud? No, you're okay.
No,
Just-
but like we've
I don't
only
know.
got a few scenes where he really loses control and actually has
Sorry
to
about
like
that.
seriously struggle against it, right? Then he builds the inhibitor. He doesn't address it in a proper way, right? And then by the end of the film, he just has complete control over it. In my opinion, we didn't get to see enough of that, especially with like the whole silk cocoon thing, right? Where like we tap into the magical side of his powers. That was a really cool storyline that I was excited to see, and I don't think that they expanded on it enough. They did the whole thing where they
Go ahead,
divert
finish.
the problem instead of tackling it head on.
I do agree with like the whole thing where you see him struggling. He takes the inhibitor off and just accepts he's both, but like he's just then kind of fine. He's like there's no more arachnid anger or anything.
I think he shouldn't have been able to use all those powers in a perfection manner like he did in the last act. I think it still just doesn't make sense that, sure, while it is, like you said, a hell yeah moment, it just the fact that he just suddenly knows how to do all of this is like it just doesn't really add up, right?
Yeah,
just
that's
doesn't.
what I'm trying to say here.
But at the same time,
the fight is so
dope as
fucking
fuck.
cool. But
It's
like the
dope as fuck.
ninjas running up
it's dope
themselves.
as fuck. I will say the hand being back in the MCU doesn't make a lot of sense. That I will admit. The hand was kind of, taken care of in Daredevil.
They got
When
handed
were-
to them.
when were the Han introduced again, by the way?
The
I don't
Han?
remember.
Daredevil.
The
And this was a
Daredevil?
Daredevil?
The hand.
The hand, is that what they're called?
Yeah, the hand. That's the it's in the original Netflix show for Daredevil,
I didn't watch
which is now
that.
canon to the MCU. It just feels weird that they're back, just because and they just also look completely different because technically they already exist and they were already thwarted. Like they shouldn't really be a thing anymore, right? Am I right, Kiki?
I mean, it's whatever. I'm happy to see him back, and as
They're-
much as we
they're
can
cool.
argue about
Nonetheless,
this
they're
scene,
cool.
it's still a fucking cool scene.
I
As
just
much
wish
as
we
we can
saw more
argue
of them.
about it.
If anything, I
Wait,
just wish we saw more.
wait. That's the coolest scene?
No, it's a cool, not the coolest scene,
Okay, I
a
was
cool
about to
scene.
say. I was about to say.
Can I say one scene that I really enjoyed, but I also kind of hate how they edited it at the same time, was after the party where Peter Parker sees MJ kissing another guy. He leaves, right, and he's swinging through the rain, going to his apartment. It's a beautiful shot of him swinging.
Is that
I
supposed
just
to be
hate-
Paul, by the way?
I apparently it is or isn't. I don't know. People
They never
saying it
name
is
dropped
Paul.
him.
No,
Paul.
people are saying it is Paul, but like I don't know if that's ever confirmed. Either way, when Peter swings, it's such a beautiful shot. Imagine the shot in No Way Home, where Peter's staring at the screen and the rain dropping down on him. I just hate then that it keeps cutting back the footage from the old films. I wish they just let Peter, the scene play out with just him swinging. You can see the emotion on
Oh.
Peter. You
Oh,
don't
I
need
did
to
hate-
you don't need to show me why he's upset or what he's lost. We know what he's given up. We know what he's lost. Just let the scene play out.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting you.
No, it's fine.
I did really not like that part with
Yeah.
the montage. I thought the swinging shots were really cool, but the montage was just so jarring. To
Can I just take a moment to compare just how much better the shooting and just the practicality of this movie is compared to the other films? The fact that there's no unnecessary CGI, the fact that I'm pretty sure most of the swinging scenes were done practically, and
Yeah,
the
a lot
fact
of it
that
was
a
filmed
good
up
majority
in,
of the film was also done practically. It's like
Yeah,
that is so much better than the CEO slop that John Watts was giving us in all of the other Spider-Man films. It infinitely better. Infinitely better.
I think this. I don't know if it's a controversial opinion, but I think this genuinely might have some of the best web swinging sequences in all the Spider-Man films.
Oh, for sure. Because we
Because it
actually
seems-
get web swinging scenes.
Yeah, but I also like we saw this a little bit in the first Amazing Spider-Man film, but I like the first-person shots as well. Even though there's only
Yeah.
one or two, it's still seeing the world from Peter Parker's perspective, him swinging. I think that's really cool. And then swinging
Yeah.
after the helicopter as well, being dragged by it, very much reminds me of the first Spider-Man game where you do the mission with the helicopter. Obviously, slightly different, but you get
Yeah.
that kind of vibe in a way.
That also kind of reminded me of when Peter was hanging off a web that was attached to the back of War Machine in Civil War. That I think was pretty fun. But then they just went full CGI in his debut film in Homecoming. It's like, why did we keep that trend? That doesn't look good. But then Dustin Daniel Cretton just clutched up. This film just outperforms all of the other Tom Holland films.
I will say about the web swinging, there were certain shots where he was web swinging where I was like, okay, this doesn't I can tell that this is fake, right? Like it wasn't there was something about it that might just be me as a film student, but there were some shots where I was where he was where the really big up on the skyscraper dropping down, and then I think it's there's one first person shot of him landing on some high-rise building or construction equipment, but there were some shots in the film where it was yeah, this is not real. And I just didn't really vibe with the cinematography in some of those shots.
Yeah, but I think I'd rather take those over how bad Spider-Man looked in the other films.
I would take
just the very
practicality with a
clear,
bit of CGI.
obvious, no ripple in the clothing, the very airy and very fake, bad physics of the swinging in the other films is just. I'd rather them look a little off than them look really absolutely ungodly fake in the other films.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even notice that the other web swinging looked fake in the other.
I implore you to rewatch them.
I'll rewatch them. I'll rewatch the web swinging scenes and I'll pay attention. But I didn't notice a problem with the physics of the web swinging in the other films.
Yeah, it'll always beat the fact that they shot in the original Spider-Man film where Spider-Man's just a mannequin and they just have MJ hang off and then you just swung the camera rather than Spider-Man himself. That'll always be kind of rough to look at, but
I'll never unsee it. I love the Tobey Maguire films, but every time I see that, I'll never not unsee that.
That'll always be ingrained in my brain whenever I watch that film. It's like, oh, mannequin.
Can I just point out, Tom Holland Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man did something in their films that Andrew Garfield Spider-Man couldn't, and that is save the girl as she's falling.
Oh wait, I forgot.
Make a good movie.
Okay, I will say I was like, for a split second when MJ was falling after like being on mind control by Jean Grey, I thought
just
they were
went,
gonna kill her off. I thought they were gonna kill her off. I like jumped up. I was like, oh
What were you about to start cheering?
no. I
Yeah,
will
no.
say I will give. I'm saying I will give. Like there's a lot of stuff. There's tons of stuff to praise about these films. One thing that I will say is I love how they handled the relationship, like overall, with MJ, and I like how they did the romance in this series of films way better than the Tobey Maguire films. In my opinion, the Tobey Maguire
infinitely better.
films are so dragged down by the romance plots to the point where I don't even care about it anymore.
Yeah, no, I despise MJ's or Mary Jane's
Mhm.
character entirely.
Yeah.
And it's all because of those films, because they spent too much time focused on that and how convoluted it was, rather than some of the plot lines. Like they could have used a lot of that runtime, putting more depth on the characters. Like I'm pretty sure Spider-Man 3 also had a lot of MJ scenes that didn't need to be there. We could have spent more time making Venom good, making Bully Maguire not cringe.
Don't disrespect my goat like that.
Legendary, but cringe.
What I was gonna say though, with in a romance aspect, was now that you've had the thing with MJ says to Peter Parker, I don't love you, and they don't get back together. Do you think down the line we could see Tom Holland get another love interest, or do you think he'll go?
I hope to see a Black Cat storyline.
At some
MJ, I'll kill you.
My first,
not
my
like
first,
that. Not
my-
like that.
It doesn't necessarily.
my first
Just
thought was
Felicia
Anne
Hardy
Hathaway.
is such a good love interest for Spider-Man in a good chunk of the comics that she's in. She's great in those.
Keep in mind,
And I think it'd be really interesting to see it.
If they do another love interest, it doesn't be like a permanent love interest, because, like you said,
Definitely not.
Felicia, but I mean, because obviously the whole real life aspect of is Tom Holland and Zendaya are actually married. Are they married in real life? Is that confirmed? I know they're dating at least.
They
I
are
think
married.
they're engaged. I
No,
don't
they're
think
married. They're married at this point.
They're full married?
I know
Yeah,
the
they're full
CEO is
married.
married.
They had a secret wedding.
Yeah, CEO is now married.
CEO
He married
weddings.
into the game.
Yeah, but
He's not in the game anymore. Who's gonna be CEO now?
Do
Who's gonna be
we
CEO
think the
of Sex
CEO of
now?
Sex waited before marriage?
Me.
nah.
Do we think the
man.
CEO waited until marriage?
Nah.
Listen. He guides
Nah.
people to treasure. He guides people to treasures he cannot get half. That's why he's just. I just insulted Jacob. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I mentioned this in the last episode, MJ. But when I was rewatching Far From Home, and all of the scenes that Ned is in, Betty Brant is in, right? Like his girlfriend for only that film, and that film literally only. Like she's barely even brought up in No Way Home. The entire time the two of them were on screen, they were doing like their little cute, little cringy bullshit that they were doing in that film. The entire time I was on that couch, I was just going, CEO, CEO, CEO.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like I was one of those. I was one of those.
We love the CEO here.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking.
I
like,
want the
'cause-
CEO on the pod.
Shout out Jacob.
Oh my god! if we
Shout out
could ever
Jacob Batalon.
If we could
Come
ever
on the
get him
pod, please.
I know we only got 7 subscribers and 2 followers on Spotify, but please, you're the CEO, you're a humble king.
The clips will bring that up. Trust.
Yeah.
Bring that up.
What I was gonna say was like, just like them being married in real life, impact, doing another love interest. 'Cause it's acting at the end of the day. It's not serious. It's just
Yeah,
it's all
and we
pretend.
already know, like in that scene, it's like she doesn't love Peter anymore.
Mhm.
Unless they find
I don't-
some way to cheese the fact that oh, now MJ remembers Peter. She has all that time back, just like Ned did. But I really hope not.
I actually think that there's a realistic chance that if they continue to interact, if Peter and MJ continue to interact with each other, they will end up falling in love again, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see it happening
100%
too.
think. I think that's 100%
I
like
think-
an easy possibility.
I think that's going to take a lot of build up though this time, rather than them jumping into that relationship just like they did in Far From
Yeah,
Home.
it will take
I
build
think
up.
I think we need to see another love interest in between. Maybe Black Cat. Maybe it's I don't want
You
Black
just
Cat
wanna
because
see
she's
Black
hot as
Cat.
fuck. I don't want Black Cat just because she's hot as fuck. Don't get me wrong.
Anne
She is.
Hathaway, Black Cat, yes or no? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
That was
from
insane.
some Spider-Man 4.
She
If
was
they
already
did Tobey
Catwoman. She was already Catwoman.
Perfect. Yeah,
Perfect.
perfect. More of that. Yeah, give me more of that. What are we talking about here, Goober?
Why is that a bad thing? Give us more.
Yeah,
Well,
perfect, bro. That's why.
You could either be Catwoman or you could be the Marvel Catwoman. Like,
Why do you
or
think I
Spider-Man,
picked
way
Anne-
more Anne Hathaway.
Why do you think I picked Anne Hathaway of all actors, bro?
Because we are not worthy.
Yes, and also you play Catwoman.
And also she played Catwoman. But then again, Halle Berry. She plays Storm. Never mind.
Maybe I want to see more of like at least Peter Parker's rogue gallery, like outside of just Ned and MJ. Because Flash
Yeah.
Thompson is a big character in the comics to Peter Parker, but my god, I do not like MCU Flash. I don't in the slightest.
God. The fact that they handled Flash so bad just means that we're probably never gonna get Agent Venom in the MCU. At least not. At least not being mantled by Flash Thompson.
If
Probably
anything,
gonna be someone else.
yeah. 'Cause like they did in the Spider-Man 2 game where it was Harry Osborn who was technically Agent Venom. Rather.
But Harry Osborn won't exist.
Yeah. So who's it going to be? It's MJ. She becomes Agent Venom. It's Ned. It's Ned.
Ned is Agent Venom.
Fat fucking Venom. I love
Chud Venom, bro.
Give a big sumo wrestler Venom and watch what happens.
See?
Like when he goes by, like when he swings by, the whooshes will be extra strong. They'll be like whoosh or whatever.
I just thought of something. Technically, Eddie Brock was in Tom Holland's universe, right?
For like a split
Does that mean we're never gonna get Eddie Brock in the MCU?
We better.
We fucking better.
We better
That
get
would
some of
be-
these
that would be
characters because they
shitty if
introduced
they-
so many of them from the other universe in No Way Home, like the old version that we saw from Toby and Andrews. It'd be shit if none of these variants existed in Tom's universe in some way or another, because Doc Ock is too iconic of a character. Green Goblin is too iconic of a character. Just, while I understand they haven't just introduced Oscorp, it's like, never say never.
I
on
wouldn't
it,
say
Sony.
never say never, but I think at this point they're kind of more interested in doing their own thing.
Yeah.
I think they're really pushing for originality, which, to be fair, cool, sure.
Cool.
But also it's just like it works, but it's also at the same time it's just we're also sacrificing a lot sometimes. We're sacrificing a lot of
Sony.
potential with, Green Goblin, probably one of the most notable Spider-Man villains of all time.
Yeah.
We're never going to see that again because we saw Willem Dafoe, who was absolutely beautiful in that role. He already played him, and now they're like, well, what's the point of doing another one?
I understand that, okay, they didn't want to do the Hobgoblin or not Hobgoblin, Green Goblin or Harry Osborn immediately
Little Goblin
in the
Jr..
MCU. Gonna cry. But I understand them not wanting to do it repeat because we have seen it twice now. We saw it for the Tobey Maguire films, then we saw it with the Andrew Garfield films, particularly in TASM 2, which was shit, but we've seen it. So I understand them, they're being like, okay, well, let's not just repeat this straight away. But the way they say, like, there's no Oscorp in the MCU, it's like, does that mean there's no Harry Osborn? I think you could do like an instant tick. If they introduced Harry Osborn now into the MCU, it'd be like instant to see how the dynamic is with Peter, because of Peter Parker knows his father from another universe and what his father in another universe did. So it'd be really interesting to see how his relationship with the Osborns in this universe could play out, given what he's known from another universe.
Yeah, but I think also at the same time, I think the reason that they decided to just say that, like, if they're really focused on originality, right, it's easier for them to just say, like, they don't exist rather than, like, they do exist, but they're just not doing anything. Because then the fans are going to be like, oh,
But
well, they
where are
already
they?
exist. There's no reason why you can't do this. So
Yeah.
from a writing and PR perspective, it sucks, and I get it. But at the same time, I understand why they did it. It's easier to just say that it's impossible than try to explain to fans like the actual reasons why.
I mean, it's not
In
still
my
not
opinion.
impossible. It's not still impossible. We just know
I
know
mean,
that
yeah, it's
Oscorp
not
doesn't
still-
exist. We just don't know they exist yet. They could still be established later on.
They
at some
could be,
point.
yeah.
Right now,
But-
they
Yeah.
don't exist, but Marvel could always go against their word.
Yeah, they could, but like
keep in mind, sorry to interrupt you, MJ, but we
No,
are
you're
getting
good, you're
Secret
good.
Wars. We're getting Secret Wars, which is gonna reset the universe in some way.
It's gonna soft reboot the MCU probably.
So who knows where we could go after, where things that didn't exist could now exist.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know they were doing Secret Wars until when you said it. Actually,
You didn't know they were doing Secret Wars?
I didn't know they were doing that.
They're doing Doomsday, then they're doing Secret Wars. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I learned that Doomsday was coming out like in the near future. Like when I saw the trailer when the first time I saw Spider-Man Brand New Day. So like I don't keep up with the MCU all that much. I haven't kept up with it really since Endgame. I tried post Endgame, but I was just like, yeah.
But you watched Eternals like, fuck, this is underwhelming.
I watched Eternals, and I mean, like,
I don't think Eternals is as bad of a movie as people say it is.
I mean, here's my thing, right? I think that the MCU was kind of doomed to fail after Endgame, in my opinion.
It definitely wasn't set up to succeed.
It wasn't set up to succeed at all, because you got like over a decade's worth of story building finally concluded, like one of the biggest cultural moments, right? Like this huge, massive cultural moment, right? Where are they going to take it from here? Even back then when I first saw it, I was like, well, MCU had a good run. I'm probably not going to follow this afterwards.
Yeah, and one of the only things that they actually set up in Endgame, after all was said and done, was, Sam Wilson as Captain America, and then they sidelined him in the next appearance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The fuck, Marvel. That's not going down that road.
I don't blame Marvel, I blame Disney still.
Do you guys know how Captain America came back in the trailer?
We've theorized, but we have no idea.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if I missed out on some plot detail. Like I can't tell
I heavily speculate that it's Loki.
Yeah,
that's not actually Steve.
Like, here's my thing with the MCU now. I can't tell anymore.
What hasn't been set up.
What hasn't been set up yet? Because like beforehand, like even when I was a kid, like I didn't watch all the MCU movies, but I could still understand the plot of Avengers. But now it's gone so convoluted to the point where it's like I'm watching the trailer. I don't know if this is something that I'm supposed to already know going into this or not. And I tried looking up God forbid I try looking up a watch list, because each watch list is like so confusing on the order.
Yeah.
Because some do it like the actual movie orders that they came out. Some do them in chronological order, because obviously some films take place in the past. And even though Spider-Man Brand New Day, because technically you had the Thunderbolts, and then you had 14 months now, which is going to go into Doomsday, like we saw in the trailer. But obviously this is taking place in between. By the way, we've not mentioned Yelena.
Oh my god, Yelena in the fucking hot tub, dude. That was crazy. I was all for it.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
I was all for it. Yeah, I was all for it.
I was all for Florence Pugh being naked.
Yeah, I was all for that.
Fucking Spider-Man sign of sauna wearing his mask.
Anyone going against it?
Any takers here?
Any takers? Going once, going twice.
Sold.
Hey, listen. After you guys disrespect the British, after you guys disrespect the British earlier, you do not get Florence Pugh now. We gatekeeping her.
We don't respect you. We respect Florence Pugh, though.
Fuck you.
Did you hear me?
Honestly,
yeah, no, I heard you. Arsehole.
Yeah, Yelena's character to me as a whole is kind of confusing. I think probably because I didn't most likely because I didn't watch Black Widow, but like,
it's a rough ride. But if you
like, I watched Thunderbolts. I watched that.
I think in order to watch Thunderbolts, it's unfortunate that a Black Widow watch is definitely required.
Yeah, because I was like, who is this, right?
Yeah. Because Yelena is one of their best handled characters, I think, in the MCU. However, her origin does start in Black Widow. A very rough watch. Very, very rough watch.
I think that's down to the whole Taskmaster situation.
Not even that. It's just the movie.
You know what? I was speaking to a friend of ours, Jake, earlier, and because we were discussing like movies and that, and he mentioned the Black Widow movie. I said the problem with the movie is it came out too late. It should have been a much earlier film. It should have been out the time Civil War came out or something.
Yeah.
I know it takes place after Civil War, but why are you waiting until the character is dead to then finally give her a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that.
That was such a dumb move. And to put it straight to streaming, fucking over
Mm.
everyone. I mean, sure, it was during COVID, I think. Wasn't it?
No, I
Was it
think
before? Was it before COVID or was it during COVID?
I think it was
I
just
think
like
it was during.
it was like 2021, I believe. Like,
Yeah, that was
You
during.
know what? I remember watching this actually on streaming because they dropped the theatrical release along with the streaming release, and if it's out there
Yeah,
for free
it
on Disney
did-
Plus,
yeah, it came to
no
both.
one's gonna go out and watch it in the theater, and it's not gonna make any money.
Yeah.
They never did that
Uh,
again. Thank God.
I do like the scene of it. We actually do get a reference to the new Avengers because that's obviously a big thing in the MCU.
And
If you,
And she's officially Black Widow now. That's her official
kinda,
superhero name.
I kind of know. I wish she was White Widow, like in the comics. That's a bit of a nitpick.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm racist.
What could be wrong with the first Widow, Geeky? What could possibly be wrong?
hey, MJ, he's ginger. It's okay.
Oh,
I get,
right,
I'm
forgot.
ginger. I get the pass.
Hey, wait, okay. We're out of our jurisdiction officially. We're out.
I'm associated.
We're
Yeah.
gonna reel it back in here.
I'm affiliated.
But no, it was nice that we got that like establishment of it was 2021 by the way, the Black Widow. I just checked.
Oh, it was definitely after COVID. Okay.
That was not
it's
after
like,
COVID.
yeah, because
It
COVID
was-
was
it was-
2020. It was during
COVID.
COVID.
It was during COVID.
Oh yeah.
But like them like mention the new Avengers, like what they're doing, like big potato stuff, and you're doing small potatoes. It's kind of nice that the bigger world is acknowledging the new Avengers. Because if you announced an Avengers team so publicly, if you didn't get then a reference to it in Spider-Man Brand New Day or any other projects, it's like, where's the world building? Where's the connection?
Yeah.
You can't just
Dude,
have a
when-
new Avengers team and be like, never mention it until Doomsday.
Yeah. Dude, when Peter just like for no reason whatsoever just stuck his feet out of the water. Why did
Yeah, I
he do
don't-
that?
It was
Why
fan
did he
service. It
do
was
that?
fan service. They knew what the artists were
What,
gonna
the,
be up
the
to.
Tom Holland ticklers, bro? Like what are we doing
Yes,
here?
the Tom Holland ticklers. Have you not been online before?
Listen, now we know how Peter Parker
I'm the
gets
only
his
one
money.
in that call that doesn't swing that way, by the way. So no, I don't understand.
What do you mean? I'm talking about Rule 34, bro. Like obvious, like they're going to like they're doing that to feed the fans, bro. Let's
They
be
literally
real here.
they literally referenced that though in the film. Like I've seen a lot of stuff online, a lot of like Elena mentioned like a lot of kissing and that.
yeah,
They actually
I love
poked
that
fun
line,
at
by
that.
the
And
way.
he's
That
like,
was
yeah,
really
I
funny.
saw them. I saw them.
Kind of
Wait,
hard
wait.
to unsee.
I want to point out
Kinda wish I
why is he
didn't.
looking? Why is Peter Parker on Tumblr?
Speaking of just looking, when he was like fucking
Is he on Tumblr? Crazy bull. Crazy.
dude, when he was watching that Spider documentary, by the way, I'm really bummed that Keith David's role was just a vocal cameo in that documentary. But I love that scene. I love that scene because it's just, he's watching the spider just like, shed its skin basically, and just like he's like, hey, turn that off.
He's like
Yeah.
really.
I don't want to
genuinely
see that.
disgusted.
God,
Mhm.
this film was just so fun.
It was really fun. I did. Don't get me wrong. I really loved the film. I really.
We did like the film. We can. I
Yeah.
mentioned this when we did Supergirl Force. Like the one thing I had was, you can still love something but still find things to critique, or you can still hate something but still find things to praise.
Yeah,
It
of
doesn't
course.
necessarily make
That's
it
the,
good.
that's the beauty of just films and just
Mhm.
filmmaking as a whole. Like, there's always going to be that one thing in a good or a bad movie that's either the opposite of the perception of the film. There's always going to be something to either praise or something to hate. And that's how people form their own opinions. And that's what people should always be looking for when watching a film. They should not look at a film the entire time and be like, this film's bad, everything about it is bad. Say this film's bad, but I'm going to still look for something that could be good in it. Or just vice versa. It's just like, it's important to form your own opinion when watching films, which is why we always, on the podcast, we always intrigue you to just go watch the films yourself. So that way you
Yes.
know what we're talking about and that you can agree or disagree with what we think about, and let us know about your opinions in the comments or
Except
in
for my
however you want to
opinions,
reach out to us.
blindly follow
yeah,
all of my
yeah.
opinions, and blindly follow Mavix Juno and listen to all of his music on all platforms.
This is true. This is true.
Before
He
Um,
agreed.
we
He agreed. He agreed. I got him to agree.
caught in 4K, caught in 4K. Before we wrap
I'm,
up,
I'm your
this-
number one fan.
I'm kidding. I'm talking about the blindly following my opinions thing.
All right.
I got him to agree with that.
Gonna edit that. Before we wrap up this pod, because we've been talking for like a good 3 hours, I think we've covered pretty much everything in the film. There's one thing we need to talk about.
I actually have
Post-credit
another
scene.
thing as well. just
Okay,
one
well,
final
we'll
thing.
bring it back then. We'll bring it back to what you gotta say.
Okay,
Real back.
Geeky, do you remember my theory about this film?
Oh, yes, I remember. And I was like, I remember when I saw the film, I was like, he was nearly right.
For the single one of you guys that was watching this podcast back before it was even the Nerd Corner, back when it was Geek Talks, I had a theory going into Brand New Day that Spider-Man was going to find a way to tie into Secret Wars and appear in some way, and that was, I think we were going to see Spider-Man die in this movie and get the symbiote, and like that would be the post-credit scene of the film. Like he would, pull himself out of the ground, and it would cut to black, and we would see a follow-up on that in Secret Wars, just like we saw in the comics. Because if you remember, the black suit first appeared in Secret Wars in 1999, right? Might have been earlier, but yeah, that was a theory that I A, really liked, and B, kind of really wanted to see happen. But after watching the film, in retrospect, I kind of am glad it didn't happen, because that would have definitely, I think, strayed a lot of the hype away from how good the character perception was in this film, of just, how well written the characters were, how put together everything was in the film, and, how everything, not all of it made sense, but, overall it was still a great film in its own ways. And one of those was they didn't do anything so severe that distracts you from the overall plot, that distracts you from everything else in the film. Because, Spider-Man dying and coming back in the black suit, that would have been the main talking point of the entire film.
Oh, yeah.
And sure, there's other major topics in this film that are definitely the primary talking point, but they aren't so severe in the fact that it distracts you from everything else that went on. And that's what I love. That's what I loved about this film, and it's kind of why I'm glad I was wrong. Would I still like to see the black suit in that similar way? Yeah, but probably for a different later project in Tom Holland's
Obviously, Secret
franchise.
Wars.
Maybe Secret
the
Wars.
suit was introduced in Secret Wars comics. If they want,
If we could still find a way to introduce it in Secret Wars, maybe, or just see him get the symbiote in some way in Secret Wars.
keep in mind,
Maybe post credit scene, or it's just some way just to bring him back, with the black suit. That'd be cool. I'd also like them to not just, linger on the suit for only one movie. I want to see the suit, appear in multiple appearances.
I think, obviously, when the last time we saw the suit within the MCU, it was on that bar before Eddie went back to his universe. We saw a bit of the symbiote get left behind. I think then, because obviously the symbiote has to find its way to Peter Parker to Spider-Man. It's got a lot of journey travel to get to. I think then with the creation of Battle World, you will see those two colliding, Peter Parker and symbiote.
Yeah, probably.
That's my thing for Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Are you?
That's all. I just wanted to mention that I'm kind of glad that I was wrong. But I also I like the theory, but I'm glad that it didn't happen in the end.
We can now go back to the
Yes.
final point of
Yes.
the film was post-credit
Yes.
scene. What do you think it means? Because I've seen so many.
I think he's
theories.
just off world. I don't think it means anything super crazy, because I've seen people say it's like, oh, it's Miles, or
It's like a
other crazy
tie-in,
stuff.
or it's like a tie-in to the Spider-Verse movies. One or
I don't
the
think
other.
they're gonna do that.
I don't
feel
know.
it could
We'll
be
see.
different things. I feel that it's going to be Toby, and it's to do with Doomsday.
Yeah.
That's the
And I
one
mean, the Spider-Verse trailer did leak, which is something I want to talk about more in the next episode of the pod. Probably in the hot takes episode whenever we wrap that up.
Well, we've still got to do a D23 episode as well.
We'll talk about it then. We'll talk about it then. But yeah, I mean, the post-credit scene, it left a lot to be thought about, but it also didn't tell us anything. I don't think. It's just
No, it
all it
didn't.
said was
there's a
Spider-Man
blip
will
coming from
return.
off-world. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that another Is that Toby or Andrew? Is it a different Spider-Man, or is this Tom Holland Spider-Man who somehow found his way up into space? Like, we don't really know. We can only really speculate. If I had to guess, though, given some of the rumors and potential leaks, I do think it's more leaning towards it being a possible Toby cameo. Not in Spider-Man, in Doomsday, I mean. like connecting that.
It
Just keep in mind,
could.
that-
It
I'm just
could.
guessing,
Could, but
but
then
we don't
they,
know for
but
sure.
then,
But
then
at that
it's
point, they
like-
better kill him. As much as I hate to say that, like, I don't think
Just
Toby wants to
came
be
out
doing
of
Spider-Man
nowhere.
for the rest of his life.
No, I will say the one problem with that is, but then it also opens up the door to, well, now that Tobey Maguire's here, why aren't all the other villains that are here already? Right? Why is it just this guy being transferred over? I don't know. I think it's just him off world,
It could be.
personally. I don't think it's anything super crazy.
Yeah, because I think they also learned from their past mistakes of, really overexciting something, like a major promise, like they did in Homecoming with Scorpion, and then we didn't see him for 10 years until
Kang.
this film came out.
I
Or
can't really see
Kang.
Toby returning
Or
Spider-Man
Kang.
17.
Or just Kang as a whole.
Or Kang as a whole. That's really funny.
Oh my god. Or just like introducing Doom in a post-credit scene while not having him do anything except, look at
at Franklin.
Franklin. We want to thank you guys very much for tuning into this. MJ, we're gonna give you some time just to, plug whatever you want.
Of course.
Give you about a minute.
Mavix Juno on all platforms. I make rage music and I make just trap in general. Go listen to the music. I got an album coming out in like a month or so. Still working on that, but yeah, just tap in Instagram, TikTok, Mavix Juno, all that. I got a lot of shit coming up.
Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next week, probably, whenever the D23 video drops. And there's plenty more to come. We still got the hot takes video to happen. You'll see MJ in that as well. Thank you guys for being here. We love you guys very much. Y'all keep it safe. Have a good one.
Peace.
Bye.